Look, he was on stage last night. It was quite an emotional sort of admission, really. He said that after Brighton, I think in week 10, I came off the stage and the incident in Manchester where he had the argument with Jan van Veen. I was sat at home and I was saying to Faith, I don't want to do it anymore. Just the crowd every week. I said to her, I'm down bad. Now, listen, he was probably out of order to do the crybaby emoji or whatever it was he was doing to Van Veen, and he got a little bit of stick for that. But did we go, as a general public, did we protect him enough? We have to remember that he's 19 years of age. And bearing in mind the way he was talking there about his mental health, and bearing in mind we had a conversation last hour about Ricky Hatton and how, we deal with these situations. Do we have to be a little bit careful with him?
We definitely have to be, because we forget he's only 19. I mean, for me, I've got a 17-year-old who's 18 in a few weeks. They're still learning about life. They've got so much to learn. They're kids. His mistakes that he's probably made, doing the crying faces, he's going to make more mistakes. He's a 19-year-old boy. Like grown men are in a crowd booing him, hurling abuse. Do you know what I mean? I played with loads of players that in training, they were fantastic players. On a game day, they couldn't handle the effect of the crowd. And
do you think there was players that played in your dressing room
100%.
that were equally as talented and gifted, maybe better than some of those that were in the team, but they couldn't deal with the expectations?
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
With your headlines at 2 minutes past 10, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. After a record-breaking 658 Premier League appearances and 24 years as a pro, James Milner's retired. talkSPORT's Dean Saunders coached him at Newcastle.
Every day I used to stay out with the players practicing shooting. Every day I used to take the balls. Anybody who wants to come over here with me, every day James Milner was there.
From his Leeds debut at 16 to titles with Liverpool and Man City, Milner's posted to say it's the friendships he'll cherish forever. Now, the sacked Arne Slot says his connection with the fans goes beyond football, but despite winning the league last season, we're told he just didn't get Liverpool Football Club.
The one thing about Liverpool is they have a certain style, which is footballing in your face, and it's always been that way, and he just couldn't do that.
Five-time league winner at Anfield, Mike Lawrenson wants frontrunner Andoni Iraola to take over. Here at talkSPORT, we're expecting that to happen quite quickly. Now, why do Arsenal get so much hate from other fans? We are some of the 800,000 supporters at their Premier League parade.
They're just jealous. That's all it is. And I love it.
We won the league, yet somehow we cheated our way through it. It just doesn't make any sense. We're unfortunately in that culture where they'll build you up, and then as soon as you're the best, they want to shoot you down.
With 10 days till the World Cup, Saudi Arabia's FA handing out free tickets to their fans. It's amid concerns about half-empty stadiums over in the States. And sad news from Rugby League. Former England, Wales and two-time Challenge Cup winning coach John Keir has died at the age of 71. He also played 133 times for Castleford. Chair of the RFL, Nigel Wood, says John loved the game and the game loved him back. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
We're expecting hundreds more Mandelson files to be released today, and red tape's going to be cut on loft conversions and conservatory builds. Amelia's back at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, where we've got a wider range of premium tyres than Britain has rainy days. Visit your local centre or book at quickfit.com today.
Patchy rain moving eastward across the country, only the far southeast staying dry before the rain reaches Kent this evening. That rain heavier in the west, turning unsettled this week.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win, because this summer you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
Good morning, everybody. You're listening to Jim White, Simon Jordan and Emmanuel Petit. We're live in talkSPORT. So, penalty heartbreak for Arsenal versus PSG. The elusive trophy. Are Arsenal the biggest club to never win the Champions League? Meanwhile, 12 months on from lifting the title, Arne Slot departs Liverpool. Is this the harshest sacking in Premier League history? Also today, why can't PSG create a dynasty? No Scotland, no party. How will that vibe be in America? Luke Littler, another example of Britain pulling down those on top. Plus, we'll be joined here in studio by 2 times heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel Dubois. It's Jim White, Simon Jordan, Emmanuel Petit, and we are live on talkSPORT.
100% engagement. Jim White and Simon Jordan on talkSPORT.
Monday, June the 1st. Can you believe it? Emmanuel Petit, can you believe it?
Yes.
June. The World Cup month has arrived.
Already?
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
Good to see you, Emmanuel. It is. Back from Spain. How was it?
Good. Warm.
Any injuries to report?
My back's still killing me, but no one cares.
He's had this bad back, Emmanuel, and sometimes it's improving, sometimes it's not. But now we hear no one cares. We care. Yeah. And we want you to know that.
We do care about you, Simon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The first thing Emmanuel said when he came in this morning, how's Simon and how's that back?
Yeah.
I can assure you that is not what he said. You're going to be busy, Emmanuel, during the World Cup, right?
Yes.
Expectation huge in France?
Of course. Big announcement, and expectation as well from the fans, but from the players too, and from Didier Deschamps, the manager, because this is going to be his last big tournament, so he wants to do something very big before he leaves. So
yeah.
But the environment is very, very exciting. Actually, yeah.
Sure, and I know you've been in touch with PSG chief Nasser Khelaifi this morning, Simon. He might be joining us, if not today, but certainly during the week. But they do it again. Penalty heartbreak for Arsenal as PSG won the Champions League. What was your takeaway, mate, when you saw it?
Well, I mean, as an Englishman, you want Arsenal to win the Champions League, but irrespective of the fact it's owned by Americans, managed by Spaniards, and most of the players are not British. But notwithstanding it, you keep your objectivity. But the better team won. Let's be honest about it. Arsenal did their job. We did what they thought they would do. Emmanuel called it. He said the game would be a draw, and it was. I mean, PSG could only score goals from penalties, so you can take something from that. I read a lot of the press. I mean, it wasn't the tension of the game was entrancing. The actual game of itself, at times, with Arsenal's contribution to it, wasn't the most illuminating. But we knew that because Arsenal are not as good a side as PSG. So all these people that are suggesting Arsenal should just open up and play and take PSG on don't really understand the mechanics of. You don't give the opposition the best chance to beat you. The best chance Arsenal had was to try and nullify PSG.
Yes.
And that's what they tried to do. And they were unfortunate not to be able to do it. Now, we can make all the claims that I've read all the articles that Marcin's written and other people have written that said that they didn't try and win this. If Arsenal had opened this game out and gone toe-to-toe with PSG, they'd have got beat 3. And so they did the right thing.
Having said that, though, Simon, there's a but here. And that but, Emmanuel, you and I were discussing it earlier on this morning. When PSG... say goodbye.
Substitutions
to the likes of Dembele,
Vitinha,
Kvaratskhelia. Right.
You have to be bolder.
Probably 3 of the best players, and there's so many good players in this team, but those guys are leaders. Vitinha is the leader in the midfield, and those guys up front are the leaders. And when I saw them, leaving the pitch, I thought to myself, this is it. This is a chance, the motorway, for Arsenal, to change the way that they've been playing from the start of the game. But it didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, after scoring the first goal, Emmanuel, 6 minutes in, was retreat.
Yes.
The best tactic for Arsenal.
We knew the plan before the game. We knew that PSG will get the possession of the ball. We try to attack, and we knew that Arsenal would try to defend, as good as they were, during all the season, but not at this point, That was probably, I don't know the name in English, but a caricature, and this is something that everybody is expecting something, and all of a sudden it's happening, but 100%, it's even worse than what we would have been thinking about. And I was quite disappointing. especially in the second half. After seeing those guys leaving the pitch, I thought to myself, yeah, this is it. I think Arteta and the players, if I was on the pitch, to be honest with you, I would have said something to my teammates. Guys, look at the players we have. It's still a good team and not that dangerous. We have to do something. We cannot defend like that until the penalty.
Yeah.
Penalty, it's like a lottery. You take a coins and you never know what will happen. So we have a chance to do something. So just take it.
Yes. In the penalty shootout, Emmanuel, it struck me to ask you: were you surprised that Gabriel?
A little bit,
stepped up?
Yeah, I was surprised because I saw, for example, one player. I don't want to blame them. I don't want to point finger at them. But when I see Zubimendi, he's a European champion. He's got character and personality, and the guy just came into the game. He's fresh, mentally and physically. You know what it means to take a penalty at the end of the season like that. It's so hot, So many players were having cramp, during the game. So it was an exhausting season for both teams. And all of a sudden, this guy came into the at the end of the game. He's fresh. He didn't take. You see the central defender. This is not typical for central defender to take a penalty shot.
Yeah. The other penalty you were not happy with was Eze's penalty. I know we don't want to hammer the guy, but
football is already difficult. So make it simple. I don't understand why all those guys, is it fashionable? I have no idea. But, I'm very annoyed every time I see someone trying to make a stick, before kicking the ball. He stopped the run and then all of a sudden do something. Why don't you do a push-up before you take your chance? I mean, just go until the limit. But, he stopped twice, his run before he kicked the ball. So, that for me proved that he wasn't ready mentally to take his chance.
What is that? Nerves?
Nerves, Is
he fearful of the moment?
Yeah, a lot of people. I had a big fight last year, in France on the radio because of that. The penalty shoot. I said, listen, you said that it's probably the most easiest things to do technically. Of course, it's easy, to shoot, on the penalty area, but do it after a Champions League final at the end of the season, with the heat, with the pressure. You're tired. You don't see the same things, when you arrive, and you feel the pressure, So I'm pretty sure that Eze felt it, This is why he tried to do something, he tried to invent something, but he was wrong.
Is he trying to make the goalkeeper make a decision for him?
Yes.
That's what he's trying to do, and the goalkeeper stood up.
Move, and then
it's easy for me. Whereas you listen to Stephen Gerrard in the commentary, it was just basically, what is the problem with just running up and taking the ball and putting your foot through it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. The statistics are incredible. And we're going to go early to the break because we've got so much to talk about. Arsenal played more matches, 226 of them, and won more games, 113, than any other side in the Champions League without lifting the trophy. So are Arsenal the biggest club to never win the Champions League? All that and this. Why is it, seemingly, Arsenal have become the club that everyone else loves to hate? We'll get into that this morning. Get ready to give us a call. World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit is in our midst. 03717 223344 on Monday, June the 1st. And we're live in talkSPORT with Selco, where the trade goes.
David is an Arsenal fan. He's written the next big Arsenal song to rival North London Forever. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning, David. Let's talk about the right side of North London now, people. Championes! Championes!
Tell us about this song that you've written. Can you give us a blast on air?
Oh, I'd love to. So it's called We're Going All the Way by my artist named Gonna Sing. So if you're finding out, have a listen, blast out. And there's a little bit of an intro with a bit of commentary from the end of the Atletico Madrid Arsenal game. And then it goes into it like this. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Unfortunately, we're ready.
Okay, here we go. We're going all the way. The champions of England say, Arsenal!
Arsenal!
Rewriting history. Unbeaten every game we played. Arsenal!
Arsenal!
Mikel Arteta is our man. The Gunners going on for victory. North London is redder than ever. We're making history.
Oh.
You'll see, but we're going all the way. The champions of England say, Arsenal!
Arsenal!
And there you go. You get the drift?
David.
When are you on top of the pops, mate? Deary me.
Listen, catchy, isn't it? Catchy.
Not one bit, mate.
I quite like that, David.
Terrible.
Listen, you're going to have to do more than that to get Gabby on.
Terrible, David.
You'll be singing it in your sleep in no time.
Do me one favour, David. Never sing that again, please. Thank you, mate.
David.
Singing it every day, all night long.
Yeah, don't let the anti-Arsenal stop you, David. Thank you very much for your call.
I'm going for a break. Bye-bye.
It's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
Boxing fans will love this. 12 noon, 2 times heavyweight champion of the world Daniel Dubois will join us live in studio alongside his business manager Riz Khan. So Daniel Dubois is coming in later on this morning to join us live here in studio. All the big names on this show. None other than Emmanuel Petit with us again today. World Cup winner, of course. Played with distinction for Arsenal in what was a glittering career. And we will be getting Emmanuel's views on events in Budapest and where Arsenal go to from now. Because Arteta spoke, obviously, post-match about going forward. What do Arsenal need?
And first of all, I would take a few days with my family, and then we'll start the process to review what we've done, to start to make some very important decisions if we want to reach another level. And we're going to have to show that ambition because we are more than capable of doing it, but it's going to demand to be very, very ambitious, very fast, and very smart.
So they're going to get their thinking heads together and work out where they go from here. What do Arsenal need, Emmanuel, in terms of personnel?
I think it's easy to know what they are missing, you know. For me, wingers. You see that modern football, but it was kind of the same, you know, back in days. But you need to have strong and powerful, you know, wingers with technical skills, you know, that can make differences, you know, on the wings. So for me, there is, before, you know, bringing new players, they have to to show the exit door to some players too. With all the respect I have for that, because
who are we talking about there?
For me, the like of Martinelli, Jesus, or Jokeres, I don't know because he just came into the club, but Trossard would probably keep him. But I would Madueke, for me, that's not good enough. I'm sorry to say that, but he must do much more than that, to improve. But we need definitely wingers and probably one striker, with space, with technical skills, great movements, something like that. We need to improve the upfront.
Right. So harsh as it sounds, but you can't show loyalty to those who got you to within touching distance of the Champions League trophy on Saturday night.
Yes.
But the same ones got you the Premier League trophy.
Yes. Arsenal won the Premier League, and I'm very proud about that. I want to congratulate all the players, the staff, and for everything they've done so far, because we've been waiting that for such a long time. But after 4 years, fighting, and all of a sudden it's happening. So very good. But if you want to perform as well on the highest level, European Cup, we've seen the big difference. But Paris Saint-Germain is the best team in the world for 16 months. And they show to everyone what you have to do as a team, but as well as individual. And for me, when you have the like of Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Doué, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia was substituted and Barcola came into the team straight away. So you have big, top, world-class players, that can make differences. So this is something that Arsenal is missing.
The way they play, though, Simon, I mean, can you win the biggest honours consistently with pragmatism at your heart?
Ask Jose Mourinho.
With Inter.
With every club he's been at. With the exception of the very early Chelsea sides, most of the time, Mourinho's played in a very pragmatic style, perhaps less pragmatic than this Arsenal side, and Arsenal will need to evolve. And the fascinating thing will be, we will see the visions when they start to evolve in the summer. When we start seeing signings come, and you're seeing the kind of players that he's buying, you'll see where he's going to go. Do I think Arsenal are a very formidable side? Evidently, of course they are. Are they as evolved side as PSG? No, they're not. That's why they couldn't go toe-to-toe with PSG and be able to match PSG in a brand of football that would perhaps be more appealing to everyone to watch, but might have been more damaging for Arsenal to participate in. The next evolution for Arsenal is, do I think they can win the Premier League again in the same style? No, I don't, because I think the other teams, they don't operate in a vacuum. And whilst we've got situations at Liverpool and Manchester City now with changes coming part of it, and Chelsea going through a change, and all these clubs are going through changes, it doesn't mean they won't be strong, and they will be strong.
Yeah.
So I don't think, for two reasons, I don't think they will win the Premier League again playing the same way, and I think the resistance and the noise will become even more vociferous about the style of football.
Yeah.
And their own fans will have even more to say about it, because it was important for them, as you can see from these remarkable scenes of 1 million fans, and you see around the globe Arsenal fans, not just in London, you see it in African countries where they're celebrating like you've never seen football being celebrated before, to some extent, because Arsenal have made a statement about winning the Premier League.
Right.
That was the most important thing, to get that monkey off their back. But now, Arteta, now we're going to see, because I don't think he wants to play this way. I think he's evolved towards it because it's effective. But I think in his heart, he wants to play expansive, entertaining, fast-moving football.
Well, Emmanuel, when you
DNA of Arsenal.
Yeah. When you guys won it in '98, the double, did you evolve after that?
We knew
or
that
did you stay the same?
We wanted to play offensive football, because for me, I totally agree with you, Simon. I will probably add something, that for me is very important. You cannot play next season the same way because I think the pressure will be high, in the medias, but as well from the fans, even from the Arsenal fans. Everybody is very happy and very proud of winning the Premier League this season. But we are a little bit frustrated in terms of the way they play. So for me, the most important, except the fans and the press, is the players. Do you think the players are very happy to play the way they did? Even thinking that they were leading the score against Paris Saint-Germain, even thinking that Paris Saint-Germain is the best team in the world, that there is no shame to defend against this team because they are such good players, But Do you think that Arsenal, the players, will be happy to do exactly the same thing next season? You have to enjoy what you're doing on the pitch. This is the best way of winning things.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, something's going to break, into the team.
Would you have enjoyed playing like Arsenal play?
This way?
Yeah.
If I won the Champions League, of course. But they didn't. They won the Premier League, so they have something in their mind thinking, we did what we had to do to win the Premier League. But are you happy the way they will say, yeah, very proud of defending, but in the meantime, Arsenal is not this. Arsenal is something different.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure why, the criticisms you was talking about, here in England, it's the same in France about Arsenal. I was very, very annoyed last week about that because I keep hearing the same criticism, about Arsenal. They are bad winners. They are not romantic, things like this. So something has to change because it's my club.
Yeah, there's Sam Stevens. Morning, Jim. I couldn't disagree more with Emmanuel, though. He says if they change 2 players, Martinelli and a striker, Jesus, they can go on to be better. The coach isn't giving them, the players, the platform to express themselves. Saka is a shadow of himself.
The Odegaard as well.
And Odegaard as well. And when you look at it, Arsenal's average, and we know the stats, 24.7% possession was the lowest on record by a team in the Champions League final and the lowest in any match under Arteta. They had 1 shot on target, the goal.
On top of it, the trick they're using all the season, winning times, on throwing, things like this, free kick. In the second half, I don't know if you noticed that, but the referee gave straight away a yellow card to an Arsenal player because he was trying to win times. And he was upset about that. The second half, every referee decision was against Arsenal. That's why I'm coming to the penalty, this situation between Madueke and Mendes. I'm probably sure that the referee was a little bit annoyed about the behavior of Arsenal, trying to win seconds and minutes,
And that would influence him, you think?
I think for me that was a penalty, and I'm quite disappointed that the VAR didn't come into the pitch saying to the referee, you have to get a quick look.
Let's put it out there this morning. Simon, before I head to the break, you want to back up something Emmanuel said?
Of course, I think that wasn't the point that Emmanuel was making. He was talking about they're going to need to go again and buy better players. He wasn't suggesting that just buying 2 players is going to fix the problem. Clearly, Arteta has a vision, and that vision was he does not think that this team, irrespective of whether Saka had a good game or a bad game, right, in this particular instance, and did more doubling up and helping his right back out than perhaps possibly others would want him to see. Clearly, he doesn't believe, whether it's because he's been scarred by the fact that they've played expansive football in 2 or 3 seasons and not won the league, or ultimately he thinks this team isn't quite at the stage. It isn't quite good enough to be able to be what others are saying, well, be braver, be bolder. Fantastic. And ultimately be braver and be bolder and go out on your shield. But you lose.
Yeah.
They were, how much closer could they have got? Irrespective of the negativity or the observations, they lost it. PSG couldn't score from open play. They scored from a penalty. They scored 2 goals in the game. One goal in the game to win to get into extra time, and penalties to win the game. So they couldn't score from open play either.
Let's put it out there. After shedding their bottlers tag with the Premier League win, is the Champions League trophy going to become the new stick with which to beat Arsenal? Is this a new barometer to how Arteta is going to be judged? Give us a call this morning. 03717 223344 810 89 at 10:30.
Joey is on the line now. Joey, you're an Arsenal fan. Good morning. How's things?
Good morning, Joe.
Morning, and no good morning to you, Gabi Abonlaho. You've been doing my head in since Saturday, the 17th of August 2013. And that was the season I got my season ticket. You came into that game, you mesmerized our defense. We lost 3-1. I got home and my wife asked me, "Oh wow, Gabi Abonlaho has done this to you." And every time I have a bad day out there and I get home, the first thing my wife asked me is Gabi be doing your head in? Gabi, you're doing my head in and I'm
I don't mean...
You've turned yourself to become the big ambassador of anti-Arsenal. Like, you just go after Arsenal. You go after Arsenal every single day. Gabi, for goodness sake. This morning we're talking about Gordon. You win all the British press, try bringing the British players. And then, in the same minute, you will say you don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. Gabi, that is a conflict of contradiction. You have an apparent bias against Arsenal. And you've been doing my head in since 2013, Gabi.
Joe,
For goodness
listen.
sake, let me have a break.
I don't want you to have a bad day because of me. I want you to enjoy your day. The weather's good. I want you to be happy, Joe.
Joe, that was brilliant. That was some rant. I really enjoyed that. Keep them coming in. 03717 2233.
I don't mean to do that to Joe.
Yeah, no.
I don't like that
right.
he's having bad days.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I want to have a very good day listening to us on the radio.
Yeah. And do you know what? If you don't like it, there's a button in your car.
James Milner has retired from professional football after a 24-year Premier League career. He played for 6 teams in the top flight, having made his debut for Leeds in 2002 and broke the Premier League appearance record back in February. Plenty more on that one at talksport.com. Now, after hundreds of thousands of Arsenal fans line the streets of North London to celebrate their first Premier League in 22 years, we've asked them why the Gunners get so much stick.
To be honest, I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out, why people hate us so much. Insecurities.
I think they're just jealous that we've got such a great fan base.
And talkSPORT's Jeff Stelling says Gunners fans are rightly proud of their team despite that attritional style of play.
You know when you see a baby who's not particularly pretty and you say, only a mother could love that. Well, that is Arsenal in a footballing sense for the neutral.
Elsewhere, Arne Slot has thanked Liverpool fans for making him feel welcome. The Dutchman has told the Liverpool Echo he leaves the club where it belongs, in Europe's elite. Anfield legend Mark Lawrenson says Slot's football simply wasn't in your face enough.
It was almost like this, this Dutch kind of thing where, we'll get the ball and we'll knock it around. He just didn't get Liverpool and the football club at all.
And Andoni Iraola is still in pole position to replace Slot.
Good morning, everybody. Monday morning, Monday, June the 1st. It's Jim White, Simon Jordan, Emmanuel Petit, and we are live on talkSPORT, courtesy of Selco. It's where the trade goes. Live on your TV as well, as we will be out in the US at the World Cup. You'll be able to watch this show as you do every morning between 10 and 1, as well as listen to it, and that is fine by us. Even on Prime Video, you can find us everywhere you want to find us. So it's go again for Arsenal, but will Arsenal go again in the same fashion? That is the big question. Can you win the biggest honours consistently with pragmatism at your heart? Do Arsenal need an evolutionary change? Interesting over the weekend, Martin Samuel in the Times, always read him. They did what they're best at, and they did it well. And then Martin goes on. It is extraordinarily difficult to win a title of this nature in this way, creating so little. Yet, for all this plays into the hands of Arteta's detractors, undeniably there are qualities to admire in his side. Oliver Brown in The Telegraph. They were preoccupied with trying not to lose, rather than seizing on the thrill of a 6-minute lead to put a shocked PSG to the sword. They sat stubbornly on that slender advantage, as if there was no alternative. Strong words, Simon, aren't they? But I think they're right on the button.
Yes, I mean, there speaks people that have never managed football teams and understand the challenges they're in front of. But they're not operating in a vacuum. It's not a case of Arsenal just turn up and suddenly they're going to be able to play expansively. They're playing against arguably the best side in world football that will land upon you.
But like us, they can still observe on it.
Of course they can. But the idea that Arteta is a one-trick pony doesn't make any sense, because he's not a one-trick pony. We've seen the fact that he played expansive football, and he pivoted off that because he felt, Christ, I've got to win this bloody Premier League, and the way I'm going to do it is by changing. So he's shown. So there must be more to the reasons behind him than being one-dimensional and unable to see beyond the ideology of I'm going to defend to win a title. Now, were they more frightened of losing, or did they think this was the best way to win? These people are suggesting that they were more frightened of losing than they were pursuing winning. But if you believe this is the best way to win, then that contradicts that argument. You have to understand the mindset of the man. You have to understand Arteta's mindset. And if we've just discussed and agreed, and this statement I've made, that he has a capability of pivoting and changing the way the team's played, then we must come to the conclusion that he's decided this was the best way to individually win this game against PSG.
I totally agree until the substitutions.
Fair enough, I take your point. You think he needed to be bold at that time?
When the substitution came, still have probably with extra time more than half an hour to play. And I thought, this is it, the door is open now. Let's grab them, Let's put pressure on them, Let's go on and get them, Let's try to do something different now. But they didn't. I totally agree with you, Simon. They have a game plan, for during all the season. It worked, and but at the end of the game, I thought something's going to change from Arteta and from the players, but nothing's came.
I wonder if this feeds into the point I'm about to make. As fans, do you take any more joy from arch rivals losing rather than your team winning? It seems Arsenal have become everyone's favourite team to hate. Chelsea on social media, after the final, posted a link to a booking form for stadium tours with the caption, "Come and visit London's home of trophies." The main image showed the Champions League trophy. Not long after Gabriel missed a penalty, Erling Haaland posted a picture on social media which showed him and a bunch of his friends just smiling. Spurs striker Richarlison shared a video of a child laughing on his Instagram story. Crystal Palace shared a graphic reading European champions within minutes of full time, having won the Europa Conference League just days before. Everyone had a smack at Arsenal.
Why is that?
Why? I'm asking you. Why is that? Why is that, Simon?
Well, I think it depends what world you're talking about. If you're talking about the social media world, Arsenal's social media representation, you see some of the protagonists that have participated in some of the social media activities. I've seen some over the weekend. They're quite an obnoxious bunch, some of the Arsenal fans. And there may be, well, in the social media space, that people take that exceptional outcome and say, well, Arsenal are not great winners. Their fans are not particularly pleasant, or they're very vociferous fans. And, you see Piers Morgan, with due respect to Piers, slapping people left, right and centre with his observations. And people get this perception that represents Arsenal as a football club. And I don't think it does.
No,
I think
they don't represent the club as a club.
No, but I think it depends. Do we see it replicating itself in every form of media? Do we see this distaste for Arsenal? And I think I'm beginning to come round to the conclusion that there is a slight distaste towards Arsenal Football Club that doesn't sit well with people. I don't know where it's come from, because I don't remember previous champions or previous elite sides catching so much. But I also think it's the nature of the way that football is now reported upon. When did we see sport amplify itself the way it does now? You're seeing 1 million people come into the high street to celebrate Arsenal winning the Premier League. You're seeing all over the world. You're seeing in parts of Africa where they've made big inroads into representing their club. They're celebrating in the streets like it's their life story.
Yeah.
So everything gets amplified now. So the vitriol gets amplified, and the disdain. So when we're saying, well, we haven't seen previous champions have this in the past, maybe the landscape is shifting because the way that media represents football and the scale of this sport now is so off the charts that every aspect gets amplified.
Yeah, but I mean, this is unusual. Official club channels Your former club, Palace, sharing a graphic, European champions, within minutes of
Social
Arsenal
media.
losing. Your former club, Chelsea, who incidentally didn't qualify for Europe next season, having a swipe at them saying, come and visit London's home of trophies, and the image showing the Champions League trophy. In other words, have some of that, Arsenal. They're not even in Europe next season.
Even Richarlison, the comments he did, it make me laugh because after the last 2 seasons, you know, if there is someone who can stay quiet, it's probably Richarlison.
Why are they doing it? Why did they do it?
And
they seem to delight.
I don't like it. I don't like it as well. So probably I'm getting too old to understand things, you know, in social networks, you know. But I think the communication now has changed so much that sometimes I'm lost. But I can understand that people tease other people, you know, every single day, you know, on social medias, and I can understand this is the way it is actually. But coming from the clubs. Like Chelsea, for example, it's such a huge club with huge history. You know, they won every single trophy. So I didn't get it. You know, why you send that kind of sticks. You know, or you maybe I forgot something on the road.
I just think it's banter. But I think it's now being banter that's moved away from just the idiots. I mean, you see them, these mouthy little twits that are part of that Arsenal fan TV. They've now splintered off and they all sit there shouting and screaming and amplifying their own view of the world. Most of it's ill-educated and unable to be understood by most rational people. But now you've got the clubs themselves having fun with one another, and if you look at, they're sending one another up. They're, you know, it's all about entertainment, and we have spent so much. There's so much sport now, and so many different places for it to be broadcast, and everyone's talking about sport all the time. So why would we assume that the clubs themselves, they're in the entertainment business? Part of football is about tribalism, about banter, about getting people at it. So now the clubs have got social media functions. We saw something about 2 years ago where the Man United social media team were talking about how they respond to their fan bases and provide content. They almost provide content based upon what do our fans want to hear. Okay, we'll will Harry Maguire out to say this. We'll will that person out to say that, because it steers into the algorithm that the fans have told us they want to see.
Yeah.
So the fans, we as football people watching from the outside in the media, or people that have played or own football clubs, look at it and go, well, we expect it from the fans. We expect that kind of banter. But now it's morphing out into broadcasting.
Yeah.
It's morphing out into social media. It's morphing out into everything. So why should we be surprised? And Arsenal are at the centre of it this time round because they're the big noise right now.
I'm going to put this out, Simon, before we hit the break. Before I do that, Thomas has got one for you, Simon. Jim, could you please remind Simon that he slaughtered Gareth Southgate for defending a 1-0 lead against Italy in the Euros. But when Arteta does the same thing, he defends Arteta. This is interesting.
No, I think contextually that's not right, because I think that Arsenal had a game plan and they were sticking to it and it was working. Whereas England against Italy, we could see it coming. Everybody in the world, I felt Arsenal could defend the game through. I actually thought they could defend the game through in the way that they were playing. And it's not ideal. I didn't want to watch that brand of football. When I watched ourselves at 1-0 up and of an opportunity against an Italian side that were building, everyone could see it was coming.
Yeah.
I could see potentially that Arsenal were in jeopardy, but I didn't see the immediacy of it in the same way that I saw it against
I'm putting
Italy.
it out there, Emmanuel. Why have Arsenal become everyone's favourite team to hate? Is there an element of this because of the way they play?
Probably, yeah. Because, as I said, I'm lost because probably I missed something. But is it something based on communication, what Arsenal have done in the past? I have no idea. Is it the image of the club? Or is it the way the team has been playing the last couple of months? That so many people dislike it. So probably I have no idea.
I genuinely, and they're going to.
Is it nowadays, Simon?
I think it's the fan channels. I think the fan channels have become such a big thing and so much noise. And Arsenal's fan channel. I remember you had put that twit in here 4 years ago to have a row with me, the guy that ran the Arsenal fan TV,
Robbie Lau.
Yeah, and having to debate with him, and then all the little splinter groups of these awful characters. So one on the weekend, what's his name, Troops, effing and jeffing about what Arsenal fans are, and that gets amplified in that little world.
Yeah.
And that's the reasons why I think other fans go,
every club
we're not
has
having
it.
you.
They've all got them.
But Arsenal
Goldbridge at Man U.
But Arsenal seem, yeah, but Goldbridge is about making money for himself. These guys seem to have a different outlook and attitude, and it's not because I dislike Arsenal, because I don't. I think Arsenal's a great football club. I didn't always agree with David Dean on lots of subjects, but I still admired him, and you still respect Arsenal. But nobody respects anything anymore.
Well,
nobody respects the rule of law. Nobody respects politicians. They damn sure don't respect other football clubs they don't support.
They certainly don't appear to respect the rule of law in France, Emmanuel, and we'll get to that. But we have Emmanuel Petit, an Arsenal legend, in our midst. So let's put it out there this morning. Do you take more joy from arch rivals losing rather than your team winning? Why have Arsenal become everyone's favourite team to hate? 03717 223344 81089.
Now, one of the most important parts of the interview, you must be happy. It's been 22 years since your beloved Arsenal lifted the Premier League title. Finally, it's come back home. I mean, how are you feeling?
It is fantastic, and this squad is really, really good. They've had real resilience. I do genuinely think they're the best team in the Premier League this year. I'm really glad to see them win it, and hats off to them, because they did really well. The pressure was then really on with 5 or 6 games to go. Suddenly it looked like starting the title race all over again. They pulled through and they've done brilliantly, and 22 years is a long time to wait.
It is a long time.
But we've done it.
Let's hope you have to wait a bit longer. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I have to get your views before we let you go on the pressure that you put on TNT Sports to make that final free on Saturday. I just want to get your views on that. I know you're going to echo that, but of course TNT price it at $4.99, which some could argue is really good value. So what's your view on that?
I just think it should be free. It's always been free, every year up to this year. And I say this not as an Arsenal fan. All fans want to watch the Champions League final. It's a big event. It should be free. And that's why I wrote to them to say, please make it free. I'll renew that, actually. I really do think they should do that. I think it's the right thing to do. And look, I mean, it could be a fantastic topping off of the week. We had Villa. We had Palace, and then if Arsenal go and do it, we got an English treble there. What a great thing that will be.
Okay, and last question, we've got the World Cup coming up. How important is it that we bring home the World Cup to lift the nation?
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
It is Monday, June the 1st, first day of June. We're live in talkSPORT. Jim White, Simon Jordan, Emmanuel Petit coming to you live with Selco, where the trade goes. We're talking about Arsenal getting so close to doing what would have been an incredible double. Well, they get one half of it. The domestic half, the Premier League is theirs, but the Champions League belongs to Paris Saint-Germain. A penalty kick away But anyway, it is now history, and the trophy itself is now in Paris. But why have Arsenal become everyone's favourite team to hate, it would seem? 03717 22 33 44. And Rich is an Arsenal fan. Have you become everyone's team to hate, Rich? What's going on? Good morning.
You, talkSPORT, are the protagonist of why Arsenal have been the team to hate. Your presenters, Arsenal TV as well, were the catalysts. Sometimes I hated Arsenal listening to them idiots. But TV presenters like Beavis and Plughead, Jamie O'Hara and Cundy and Agbon Lahore, right? They've made it personal, right? You're a sports channel. You broadcast to millions of people. And I think you are the catalyst to why people hate Arsenal. When you talk about everyone hating Arsenal, I was at the Emirates on Saturday, and I was at the parade yesterday. Nearly 2 million people. 2 million people that support Arsenal. Twice the population of the city of Manchester and the city of Liverpool. And they came out to support a North London club that are absolutely huge and loved globally. The way we play sometimes is frustrating.
Yeah.
But what he's done, when you talk about where do we go from here, how many managers and how much money was spent at PSG to get them where they were to where they are now? They had the world's cream, they had everything. And in the end, they found a formula, a different formula, and they found a way. We will find a way. We will find a way. I can remember being at the Emirates, nearly in tears, when Bayern Munich had beat us 5-1 at home, a 10-2 aggregate, and we were worlds behind the elite. And even when PSG played Bayern in the semi, people were saying, well, it doesn't matter who wins that, Arsenal will get murdered. We never got murdered. And if it wasn't for that penalty, they'd still be trying to score today.
I saw, Rich, I saw Gabby Bonlahor and Jason Cundy in PSG shirts.
Yeah.
Does that really get to you so much?
Really?
Well, to be honest, I'll be honest with you. I love talkSPORT, and I've been on a million times.
Yeah.
It's put me off listening to talkSPORT. I can only listen to this programme now because you're the only ones, whether I agree with Simon or not sometimes, he talks sense, and it's pragmatic, real analysis. But all the other programmes now, especially the Sports Bar, and especially your morning programme, it's built around trying to anger other people into phoning in, trying to wind us up. And it's become, we don't care who likes us or who doesn't. Because I'll tell you what, you don't hate the way we play, you hate the way we win.
Yeah, but it sounds like you've taken the bait, Rich.
Well, I have taken the bait insofar as talkSPORT, you are the perpetrators between, like I said, Beavis and Butthead that now have turned the Sports Bar into some sort of comedy relief. It's no longer about real pragmatic analysis about the game and about the team.
No, that's what you get. That's what you get here, as you said moments ago.
Yeah, but the Sports Bar used to be really good. Drive, even though Adrian Durham has always hated Arsenal, right? But even goes that, we had the Daily Arsenal all those years ago with Adrian Durham.
Listen, let's finish on a positive note. Can you win honours consistently with pragmatism at your heart? Do you need an evolutionary change at Arsenal to go on the way you play?
The process is what Arteta is all about. And so far, the process is working. And like, we were a penalty away from winning undefeated in the. Of course we can. There'll be other areas of the pitch that he has to fill. But you've also got to remember quite quickly that the Premier League is now one of the hardest leagues to win. And the other teams have found a way to stop teams like Arsenal winning. And we found a way to win.
Yeah.
So we're all, Liverpool have just sacked their manager because they don't like the way they play.
Right. Rich, you deserve your call merits a response from an Arsenal legend. And one is sitting right here, Emmanuel Petit. What do you make of what he's saying?
I totally agree. I still don't understand why the Arsenal is receiving so much stick like this, so much comments like that, from clubs or players actually, and they seem so happy, you know, to point the finger at Arsenal. And I totally agree with this person saying that they don't hate the way Arsenal is playing; they hate the way they're winning.
Okay. Listen, thank you so much, Rich. Here's Michael, who's a Liverpool fan. Michael, good morning.
Good morning. I find that hilarious because, I mean, Simon, chime in if I get...
Oh, we've just lost out. Let's go back to Greg, who's an Arsenal fan. Greg, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. Do you think that Arsenal have become everyone's favourite team to hate?
Jim, honestly, for Arsenal, and I'd encourage all Arsenal fans, even richer before, just laugh it off. Honestly, the low-rent individuals like Cundy or Bonglahor and all them, they're going to show themselves for what they are, and they are doing. Like, just ignore it. Because at the end of the day, what are we focusing on? We're focusing on going after... We won the league after 22 years. In the Champions League final, we came up so short to PSG, but we're going to go again. Our owners are all on board. They're going to spend. They're going to back our manager. We're not going to be selling. We don't need to sell. We're not a small club. We need to just invest, go again, and back the team. All the outside noise, everyone's just going to show themselves for what they are. Like, with all due respect, I take nothing away from Villa and Palace winning their trophies.
Yeah.
But they were second and third tier European trophies. They're not what we're fighting for. So it's cute, the little banter they try to give us, but it's minnows trying to talk to a whale.
Well done, Greg. Well done for that. Thank you. Let's get back to Michael, who's a Liverpool fan. You're back with us, Michael. What do you want to say?
Well, the guy who was on before, Rich, said that PSG have spent millions and millions. They did do, but they won nothing. They bought Vitinha, who I think played at Wolves, and the team, Arsenal, if they went toe-to-toe, as you've already said, they would have got spanked. Liverpool went toe-to-toe at the Parc des Princes a couple of years ago, and we should have got spanked if it wasn't for our world-class goalie. But the thing that gets me is you listen to Arsenal, you watch them on TV, and they sing they're the greatest team the world has ever seen, and yet they've done nothing in Europe. And I'm pleased Chelsea put that out. And Chelsea were humble, and they said, come and look at the best trophy room in London, because Chelsea knows that. You go up to the northwest, and you've got two teams, two behemoths, who've done it in Europe. Arsenal have never done it, and they've got this massive ego of entitlement. And for me, their football was as boring as watching Arne Slot's football. It was turgid. It wasn't nice to watch. It sent me to sleep. And I thought after 6 minutes when they scored, I thought, oh, God, they're going to just park the bus. And I wasn't surprised to see L'Equipe say they parked the double-decker bus, because the football's anti-football. It's not expansive. If they played expansive football, they would have lost 4-0 or 4-1 or whatever. They are anti-football, and it's the arrogance. Yes, Simon's right about online, the mindset of the Italian fan base, the Arsenal fan base on social media is so arrogant, but that also translates to the stadium. How they have the audacity to say they're the greatest team makes me laugh when I watch them.
Michael, I tell you what, though, 1 million out in the streets yesterday, that's not bad, isn't it? After the day you lose the Champions League final on penalties.
I go by what the Met says, and the Met says it was 800,000 plus. They didn't go for 1 million, and it was definitely never 2 million. And I mean, I wasn't surprised to see Richarlison because he's the biggest wind-up merchant out there. He does it to Liverpool because he's ex-Everton, even though he's now at Spurs. So I wasn't surprised to see that. I wasn't surprised to see Haaland. I have respect for Manchester United because they're a team who have gone there and they've done it, and they went toe-to-toe with all the teams they played for in the Champions League. I think they played Barcelona. Did Sir Alex Ferguson park the bus against Barcelona? No, he didn't. And they got beaten. And they went toe-to-toe. Of course, I wanted Barca to win. When Tottenham played last year against Man United in the Europa League, it doesn't take a rocket scientist what team I wanted to play.
Okay.
I feel sorry for West Ham because, as managers say across the board, it all evens itself out across the board over the course of a season. And Emmanuel Petit said he thought it was a foul against Manu Madueke. Yes, it was. And also, I thought it wasn't a foul when West Ham played Arsenal at the London Stadium. So it all evens itself out.
Okay, Michael, listen, thank you for the call. Thank you so much indeed. Emmanuel, take us to the break with this. I mean, since their Champions League debut against the Norwegian club Storm Godset in 1971, 211 Arsenal players have tried and failed to win the Champions League. You were one of them.
Yeah.
Is Arsenal the biggest club to never win the Champions League?
I cannot explain why Arsenal hasn't won yet this title. We've been very close a couple of times. I remember that final, in Paris against Barcelona when Arsenal were leading the score, and all of a sudden sending off the goalkeeper, and Robert Pires went off the pitch. And Barcelona won 2-1. I was at the stadium. I was very disappointing with the scenario because I thought Arsenal could have win that trophy. You know, I think sooner or later, I think Arsenal is going to win the Champions League.
Okay, with Arteta
or someone else, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna come. It's the same. You know, if you took Paris Saint-Germain for example, Qatar has been at the club for the last 13 years now. They've done everything, you know. They changed their sport projects so many times. They brought Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. They thought they will win the Champions League. All of a sudden, Luis Enrique came and he said, "Listen, football is a collective sport. We need to get a soul into the team, a vision, but we need as well individuals, strong ones."
Yeah.
But this is why they decided to show the door to Kylian Mbappe, because his ego was so important in the dressing room. So it changed everything. So you need to get a plan. I'm pretty sure Arteta has a plan. So I'm very confident with him.
Okay, Emmanuel, we'll talk about Mbappe further down the line. And at Real Madrid, all is not well. PSG, though, Paris Saint-Germain. And Emmanuel was telling me before we came on air, he was standing there on Saturday night surrounded by PSG fans. But have they fast gained a reputation of turning success into violence? We're going to get to that shortly.
Andy Robertson and Liverpool and the memories that brings up and the incredible teams that you've been part of over those years and Jurgen Klopp, all that history. Oh my goodness, just sum up, now that you're at the end of your Liverpool career, how it's been, how emotional has this been for you?
Yeah, it's been a difficult couple of weeks, but I also try to enjoy every minute of it. I think people are fed up of seeing my face and seeing interviews of me doing farewell stuff, so I'm glad this one's radio. But yeah, look, it's been an unbelievable 9-year journey.
Andy, can I take you back to, because I honestly think this was probably one of my favourite Liverpool sides ever. Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. You guys, that back four, you just picked yourself really. Robbo, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Trent, and Alisson. It will forever be one of my favourite Liverpool sides, I think, just because there was so much character in it, but also you guys were just so good. What was it like having that connection that you had with your team?
Yeah, look, that was, I think, I've spoke about it, quite a few times, but it's like that was the best time because, we were all kind of climbing the mountain together as such. None of us were the best player in the league. None of us were the best in our position. None of us were, we certainly weren't the best team. And I just think every day you just started seeing it slowly but surely piece all together.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines at 11:04, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. James Milner says it's the friendships he'll cherish above all else. He's retiring after a record-breaking 658 Premier League appearances over 24 years. Dean Saunders coached him at Newcastle and told us no one worked harder.
If you come home with your daughter, if your daughter brought James Milner home, you wouldn't be disappointed.
So what's next for Milner? talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook says a career in management beckons.
I'm told at the moment there aren't any plans for him to get a coaching role at Brighton, but you've got to think, when you look at his character, there's a coach in there, isn't there?
Now, the sacked Arne Slot thanked Liverpool fans for making him feel welcome and says he's left the club where it belongs, in Europe's elite. Mark Lawrenson's told us Slot's football isn't in your face enough.
It was almost like this, this Dutch kind of thing where, we'll get the ball and we'll knock it around and all those kind of things. It's a really nice guy, but he just didn't get Liverpool and the football club at all.
Andoni Iraola is the front runner to take over at Anfield. Now, former Arsenal midfielder Emmanuel Petit told White and Jordan people don't realise how hard it is to take a penalty in a major final.
Do it after a Champions League final, at the end of the season, with the heat, with the pressure, you're tired, and you don't see the same things, when you arrive, and you feel the pressure, So I'm pretty sure that Eze felt it,
On Eze's stuttered run-up, Petit says, why make top-level football harder than it already is? And Hull FC's COO Tony Sutton has called John Keir a true rugby league man through and through, following his death at 71. Keir played for Castleford and Sheffield Eagles before coaching Hull FC, Wakefield, Bradford, England and Wales. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The second batch of Mandelson files is likely to make for very uncomfortable reading, and the UK doesn't have to pay Rwanda millions of pounds over a collapsed asylum agreement. Amelia's got more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Spring forwards with Bridgestone Turanza all-season 6 tyres with a 25,000 mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Rain moving eastward across the country, only the far southeast staying dry before the rain reaches Kent this evening. That rain heavier in the west, turning unsettled this week.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win, because this summer you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/.
Good morning, everybody. 7 minutes past 11 o'clock this Monday morning. Monday, June the 1st. It's Jim White, Simon Jordan, and French World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit. And we are live in talkSPORT, live in your TV as well, even Prime Video, Samsung, Roku, Rakuten. Everywhere you want to watch a show, you can find the show between the hours of 10 and 1. And of course, this week we are beginning to crank up towards America and head out there next week. We'll get to that. In the meantime, we are talking about the Champions League. Won on Saturday night, on penalties albeit, by Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain become only the second club to retain the Champions League. They became the first side to successfully defend their title since Real Madrid. They did it between 2016 and 2018. Luis Enrique is the man entrusted to take PSG forward. And he, of course, spoke about the possibility now of creating real history.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think we deserve, maybe today both teams deserve to win, but the way we played the whole season, I think we deserve to win that Champions League, and we are very lucky, also we are very happy and trying to be there next year. Why not?
Emmanuel Petit lives his life in Paris, so this fella is in the know. PSG, Emmanuel, are we witnessing one of the greatest teams ever with the world's best manager? And what's to stop them becoming a truly dominant force?
I have to go back probably 20 years, 15, 20 years back, to see a team better than Paris Saint-Germain. Is the Barcelona team, with Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, Puyol, that kind of players, they were amazing. And I remember the final they played against Manchester United, and they were so far a much better team, on the pitch. And they've been ruling the world for years as well. This team has been a joy to watch. And so Paris Saint-Germain, I think it's quite the same, the way they play, the way they control the ball, the way they destroy opponents. every one of them, it doesn't matter if it's Madrid or Barcelona or Bayern, whatever, then take it and we will beat them. So when you look at the team, except Marquinhos, the central defender, the rest of the team, they are young. And if you hear what, for example, Désiré Doué said after the game, he said, "I'm so happy to be part of this club. This is the best moment of my life. I love this club so much." All of them, they've been saying that for months now. So it's quite rare, to hear that from players, when they enjoy the way they get success, but the way they play all together, this is something so difficult, to bring and to build into a club. And it goes... I had the sensation, when I look at the final after the substitution, when they brought, those guys, from the bench with no name at all, but they play with the same confidence. It spreads in every stage of the club, The philosophy of Luis Enrique is the architect of everything. So, yes, for me, it's going to be very, very difficult, to beat Paris Saint-Germain because they will keep this DNA, this soul, this spirit, this mentality, and it's so difficult to get into a club.
So on the pitch, it couldn't be going better for PSG.
Yeah.
Off the pitch, what is going on in Paris? What is going on in areas of your country? For the second successive
I mean the violence.
Yeah. Fires, battles with the police.
Yeah.
Thousands of PSG fans took to the streets after winning the Champions League against Arsenal. Several hundred people, arrested nationwide. More than 300 of them detained as we speak, you and I and Simon, detained in Paris in cells. Now, it happened last year, Emmanuel.
It's a shame. It's such a shame. Because
what did you witness? Are you willing to tell me this story about your two bodyguards?
I tell you, I was about to work until 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night. The game was at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, so you can imagine. I was about to stay a long time, after the game for the celebration and everything. After 2 hours, because we were doing the TV, the radio show, on a very famous restaurant, not so far, from Paris Saint-Germain Stadium, which means it was full, surrounded by Paris Saint-Germain supporters. So I was the only Arsenal supporter inside this sport, but there were probably 400 people. And straight after the end of the game, 30 minutes, so trouble starts in the street, but close to the bar. And I saw everything, they were stopping cars, ridiculously, they were putting their life, in danger all the time, but other lives as well. And they were making some stupid things, on the street, burning cars, breaking windows, shops, things like this. I want to say something. Those guys are not Paris Saint-Germain supporters. The vast majority of the supporters behave the right way, They respect, everything. They respect other club. They respect everything. Those guys represent the minority of what we've been seeing for years now in France, not except in sport, but every time they have the occasion, to come and to destroy everything, they do so. And what happened, during that night for the celebration? I said to my boss, I'm supposed to stay until 1 o'clock. I want you to call me a cab right now at 11 o'clock in the evening because I want to go back home because I know it's going to be a mess in the street. 10,000 police guards, in the street of Paris.
Yeah.
And with Roland Garros, yeah. Paris, the city is surrounded by holiday people, tourists. Can you imagine that? You're walking, with your family, and all of a sudden you see those guys, those stupid guys, with bars, with try to destroy everything, burning cars in front of you. It's happening every single year. We are so tired about that. And I said it again. Those guys are not supporters, They are not Paris Saint-Germain supporters. Those guys are idiots. They don't like the country. They don't care about the country. The only thing they want to do is to break things, to make a mess, to destroy everything. So we are so tired of it, in France, but especially in Paris, because it's happening every single time.
Am I right? They recognise you, but because you are World Cup winner, Emmanuel Petit, they let you go.
Even if I was, you know, at the opposite camp, you know, during the game, you know, when Arsenal score after 5 minutes, 100 people, you know, they turn their head to me, like, and I look at them and say, what's going on? I was not, you know, pretending that I was about to fight against those people. They were acting in a good way, you know. But I saw, you know, some Arsenal supporter fans, you know, being intimidated, you know, in the street, you know, of Paris before the game. So I thought, what the hell is wrong with you, those people? We're here, you know, to celebration of the final, and all of a sudden you're making a mess. You know, I make a comparison, you know. In 1998, when we won the World Cup, millions of people were in the street. We had only one incident, you know, a car, you know, jumping into the people, you know, but there were no breaking glass, no burning cars, nothing at all. In space of 25 years, everything changed.
Yeah. And this is PSG winning, Simon.
Yeah, but there's been media outlets that have analysed what actually went on. This isn't very little to do with the football fans. There were some instances when Arsenal scored that were football related, but post that, this is about certain communities. This is about immigrant communities in Paris that are rebelling against the circumstances they find themselves in. So it's been put under the banner of football related situation. It's not. This is the troubles going on inside Paris as they are going on inside this country with issues around certain very hot topics. And so it is not football fans that are running around looting.
They don't care about football anyway.
These are not football fans. This is the underlying issues.
It's an excuse.
It's an excuse.
Did you feel unsafe in your own street?
Of course. But you have no idea. It took me 90 minutes to go back home. Usually it takes me 30 minutes. And I saw so many dangerous things, you know, on the road. And I thought, but where's the police? But the police, they were so busy, you know, that night. And they are tired of it. They don't want it anymore, you know. It's over the limits. They want politics, you know, to take actions. But no one's care. You know why? Because next year it's the presidential election. So they are all walking on eggs.
Yeah. Sad state of affairs, Emmanuel. Unbelievable to hear all that. And as I say, Paris Saint-Germain won the thing. Emmanuel is with us all the way through until 12 noon. Thereafter, Daniel Dubois will be joining us. Stay with us. We're live in talkSPORT with Selco, where the trade goes.
Edwin, away from Soccer Aid, obviously a good second half of the season for your former club, Manchester United. It feels like a no-brainer to give Michael Carrick the job on a full-time basis. I guess the big question is, what can he achieve next season? How close to being championship contenders do you see them being?
Yeah, but I think what Michael brought was stability, clarity. Got some players in, played a lot of times the same team, and formation that was recognizable for the fans. And I think the performance that he put on, the results that he got, and that the board and the directors take their time to look at our options, see how things develop, see how the players look like. Probably they got some contact with Bruno and some established players to make up their mind. And very happy for Michael that he got the opportunity to do it on a permanent basis.
What about Michael Carrick's big selections this summer? What has he got to do in order to make them more competitive next season in terms of winning the Premier League? Because that's the established aim for Manchester United.
Yeah, of course. I'm not that deep into Manchester United. And of course, some players will have a desire to leave or to extend the contract. Big thing is, of course, Casemiro leaving, so that will leave them a big gap in the midfield. The initial period was I think a bit iffy, but I think that last year, a year and a half, the appreciation for him and his career has been immense. So that will be a headache. Goal scoring wise up front, of course, with the addition of Mbeumo, Šeško and Cunha, get a little bit more grit, a little bit more stability.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
It is Monday morning. You're listening to Jim White, Simon Jordan, Emmanuel Petit, live in talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com. An Arsenal legend is in our midst, Emmanuel Petit, a French World Cup winner as well. Another Arsenal legend has messaged me, can't be with us this morning. I'm talking about Martin Keown. My message to the Arsenal fans, and this is regarding why Arsenal, in the eyes of many, have become the team to hate if you're not an Arsenal fan. Just stay above it, says Martin. So much hatred, so much dislike, so much envy for Arsenal Football Club. Happy days. We're living rent-free in half of the football community's head.
That'll help it. That'll suppress the idea that people think that Arsenal are and the people that, in part, you know, some of the shows take the mickey out of this show because they see.
Oh, come on, you're not blaming Martin.
I'm not blaming
part of
Martin,
this.
but there is a lack of objectivity sometimes that gets lampooned on other shows. We've seen it. I've told Martin not to react to Andy Goldstein because Andy Goldstein has fun with him, but he reacts to him, and so then you've got this as a situation. Oh, we hate Arsenal. Not everybody hates Arsenal. Not everybody lampoons Arsenal just because they're the big football club that should rise above it. It's that sort of observation that will bait more people to go, hang on a second, you have a bit of contrition.
Yeah, but even you have moved into Keown territory by recognising that there is a slight agenda in existence.
And we're trying to evaluate the reasons why. And, it isn't just a case of everyone sits around going, I tell you what, who am I going to hate today? There is a reason for it, and the genesis of it might be amplified, but the genesis of it is, why does Andy Goldstein spend his entire time now lampooning Martin? Because he's got a rise out of him. And because Martin gave him an opportunity. So that's what they do at broadcasting now to some extent. And we don't like it here. You don't like it and I don't like it. We take the mickey out of people. But knockabout is not for us. So I agree with some of the calls. With all due respect to Jason and to Jamie and to Gabby, sometimes I listen to that and go, I'd rather shoot myself in the face than listen to that trash. It's not, for me, particularly great, enlightening, illuminating. If you want to watch Knockabout, then these guys shouldn't get offended.
Yeah, but my point is, Gabby and Cundy wearing a PSG shirt, each of them, people are out there taking the bait. You don't have to take the bait.
Exactly, you should rise above it.
Yeah.
You should know it, take it for what it is. I don't like it. I don't think we should be sitting on a British media station wearing PSG shirts. I don't think that's cool. I think it is rage baiting. And the Arsenal fans should rise above it. But we should also call it for what it is.
Yeah.
Is that great? I don't think it's great.
In the middle of all this, Arne Slot is no longer at Liverpool. 12 months on from winning the Premier League title in his debut season, some might say is this not the harshest sacking in Premier League history? Only a couple of weeks back, Slot was talking in optimistic terms.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, not this season, by the way. This season they will have their opinion and it will not change. But if we can have the summer that we are planning to have, then I'm 100% convinced that we will be a different team next season than we are now. Different in terms of results, different in how things look. But it's not always that simple, because sometimes you know what you have to do, but it's not always possible to also get exactly what you want. But for us, for me, it's really clear what we are lacking this season.
Simon, to me that sounds like, right, we all know what we've got to do. I certainly know what I've got to do.
Yeah.
And I'm clear on it. So let's get on with it. What do you know? Boom, he's gone.
I would imagine that Liverpool were, despite the fact that they were assuring him that their intentions were to see past this season, there were other people that were coming on the market. They would have been perhaps sounding those out, and perhaps one of those pennies has dropped. And Slot finds himself... I mean, you could argue that Mourinho getting sacked on the eve of a League Cup final is a particularly harsh signing dismissal as well. I mean, I think it's a strange one, but Liverpool are not immune to what happens in football now. Liverpool, just because Liverpool once upon a time stayed with their managers, whoever their manager might be, the world has changed, football has changed, expectations have changed. I'll tell you what was most changed is owners. Owners have changed, and they have an expectation, probably, as much as football fans won't want to hear this, probably the most influential people and the most significant people now in football are actually the owners, because these are the guys that are changing the direction of travel in football. They're the guys that decide who they want to work for them, how much money they're going to spend, who's going to own their football clubs. And now nation states, oligarchs, hedge funds, billionaires. Look at what's happening in football. So as we go forward, a bit like in the NFL, I'm not suggesting this is right, you know, when the Patriots win the NFL, who gets the shield? Bob Kraft. There will come a time when owners are even more prevalent, because players will come and go, talent will be changed, and managers will be changed. So it's not surprising to me that Liverpool, once upon a time, didn't do this with Bob Paisley, or didn't do it with Bill Shankly, or didn't do it with Kenny Dalglish, or didn't do it with Ronnie Moran or Joe Fogan. They've done it with this guy, and unfortunately for him, he is a victim of his timing. That once upon a time winning a Premier League, I mean, this is a club that's won the Premier League twice in 32 years of the Premier League. So with due respect, you would have thought he might have got a bit of currency.
Yeah.
Doesn't fly anymore.
Were you surprised, Emmanuel, as everybody else was? What, he's gone? I mean, only on Friday night, his representatives were saying there was no change in the support from Liverpool's hierarchy. Everything was looking good.
Yeah, well, I think after he won the Premier League, you know, this season was very difficult. But it's quite weird to understand that, because when you spend 500 millions buying so much players, you know, especially up front, but you're missing important positions, just like left back, for example, or right back, because Mo Salah was not the same player anymore. Is it because he was not happy with the manager, or because this was probably the end for him? But nowadays, I'm not surprised at all with every kind of decision. So Slot was fired. I'm not surprised at all, because I think he lost the dressing room. At the end of the day, the board, you know, the owners, they always follow most of the time the players, not the managers. Sorry to say that, but this is the reality.
Is that true, Simon, that you would follow the players?
Depends what kind of owner you are. I mean, Enrique, we'd go back to the PSG for a second. Enrique's lucked into a situation because his last tenure at Spain wasn't that great when he got removed from the Spanish job. He's landed at PSG when Nasser's had an epiphany. I don't want these Galacticos anymore. I want a whole new breed of outlook, and Enrique can manage young players and influence them and create an outcome. So do owners go with players? Well, you've seen Marinakis do it. They go with the fans, they go with the outcomes. And if Liverpool this year has but even by his own admission, he turned around and said the fans won't change their mind. So the noise has got so significant amongst the Liverpool fan base. Danny Murphy sat here 3 months ago and said this guy's going to get fired, and once the crowd has gone, they'll never come back. And so that will be baked into it. Perhaps the arrival or the freedom of Iriola in the marketplace now presents them with a new opportunity that perhaps wasn't there before. Yeah. You know, people would suggest, well, why didn't they go for Alonso? Chelsea have nicked Alonso from underneath them. Maybe they didn't ever want Alonso. Who knows? But, you know, let's not cry too many tears about it. Football managers are highly rewarded, highly recognised. He'll go on, get another job. He'll get paid up for his contract, and off he goes. The only thing for him is he didn't see it coming. And I have to say, it always amuses me in a slightly Machiavellian way, when these managers like Sean Dyche didn't see it coming, never saw it coming in the press conference before, and they have no visibility of it, and you almost find yourself feeling a little bit of empathy, but then again, I've worked with managers, so I don't feel that much empathy.
Well, in a little bit of time, we will take some calls from Liverpool fans. Give us a ring, because 12 months on from winning the Premier League title in his debut season, what does this look like? Is it the harshest sacking in Premier League history? And why was it? Why was it? Are you one of the Liverpool fans, one of the hardcore who thought, no, it's time up for Slot, get him gone? Why did you think that? 03717 223344.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal do not, an English team, do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country, but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing other football fans have enjoyed more or loved more or celebrated more than our repeated choking and failures. And now we've actually climbed the summit. Now we've become Premier League champions again. And frankly, now everyone's beginning to wait.
James Milner has retired from professional football after a 24-year Premier League career. He played for 6 teams in the top flight, having made his debut for Leeds in 2002 and broke the Premier League appearance record back in February. Plenty more on that one at talksport.com. Now, after hundreds of thousands of Arsenal fans line the streets of North London to celebrate their first Premier League in 22 years, we've asked them why the Gunners get so much stick.
To be honest, I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out, why people hate us so much.
Insecurities. I think they're just jealous that we've got such a great fan base.
And talkSPORT's Jeff Stelling says Gunners fans are rightly proud of their team despite that attritional style of play.
You know when you see a baby who's not particularly pretty and you say, only a mother could love that. Well, that is Arsenal in a footballing sense for the neutral.
Elsewhere, Arne Slot has thanked Liverpool fans for making him feel welcome. The Dutchman has told the Liverpool Echo he leaves the club where it belongs, in Europe's elite. Anfield legend Mark Lawrenson says Slot's football simply wasn't in your face enough.
It was almost like this, this Dutch kind of thing where, we'll get the ball and we'll knock it around. He just didn't get Liverpool and the football club at all.
And Andoni Iraola is still in pole position to replace Slot.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Now then, we're joined by Alex Licence from BetMGM. We're going to look at the top sporting events and the odds round and about them. Sorry, I was slightly distracted by a message Frank Warren, boxing promoter, just sent me there about Arsenal. Big Arsenal fan is Frank. I'll get to that. Alex, good morning to you. Simon and Emmanuel Petit are with us. Premier League managerial changes for next season. What are we starting with this morning?
Yeah, morning guys. Before I get onto the managers, I do have to mention that last week when we were on with Emmanuel, I asked him for his Champions League final prediction and, well, he got it bang on. He said a draw after 90 minutes and PSG to lift the trophy, so fair play because that was a great shout.
Merci bien.
For once.
Well done, Emmanuel. Well done and well mentioned, Alex. Well noticed and mentioned.
I've got to give him the flowers, haven't you? But yeah, onto the managerial changes. They are a hot topic in the Premier League at the minute, as you well know. 4 of the top 6 will have a new manager on the opening day compared to last year. You've got Enzo Maresca at Man City when it's announced. He's obviously he knows the club, but sounds like they never really considered anyone else. Do you want to really be the guy that follows the guy? I'm not sure. Some seriously big boots to fill. You wouldn't imagine he needs to do too much in the transfer window with what City did in January. But then you can't say the same for Iraola at Liverpool, should that get announced. They spent over 400 million, didn't they, last summer? But to me, they look like they need a rebuild again. You've got Salah, Konate, Robertson going. You've got Isak and TK with injury worries. And then issues in central midfield that probably need addressing as well. Then you've got Carrick at Man United. No doubt he's done a brilliant job since coming in, but he'll have Champions League to deal with. And I know it's really early days, but sort of with all that considered, is this advantage Arsenal, in terms of looking at going back to back? They're the team with stability. They're on an upwards trajectory, clearly. And, well, you'd imagine they're only going to get stronger this summer too.
Well, your new best friend, Emmanuel Petit, is nodding in agreement. Is it advantage Arsenal? What do you think?
Yeah, I said it, when I saw Pep leaving Manchester City, I thought, whoa, something's going to change because the legacy, is huge. I wonder if Maresca will keep, the same style of playing because if you try to do something different, so many players have been at the club for so many years that it's going to be quite difficult to change instantly. So I think the main rival for Arsenal, I don't see the transfer market yet, until end of August. But Chelsea is not playing, Champions League or European Cup. So they're going to have, I think, the focus on the Premier League.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Manchester United as well have a word to say as well because they've been missing the spot for so many times. So it's going to be hard, as usual, hard season. But I think Arsenal, with new players as well coming, I think they will be very difficult to beat.
I think it's right. I think all comers will be thinking that they can have a tilt at Arsenal, won't they?
Well, they'll be thinking that anyway. But the fact is that normally what I would suggest is that it's one thing operating as an Arsenal manager, but you don't operate in a vacuum. But in this instance, there is a little bit of a vacuum potentially there for Arsenal to exploit because we don't know how Maresca is going to translate. Because most of the time, when you follow a legacy manager like Pep Guardiola, Arsene Wenger, or Alex Ferguson, there's a fall off. Then you look at Liverpool and say, well, clearly they're looking to be better, but notwithstanding, they're going to bring a new guy in that's got to find his feet.
Yeah.
You look at United, and I think there's so many questions. With all due respect to Carrick, this is when his job starts. His job now as Man United manager starts now when he's been appointed, not when he's been sat in a situation fixing the car crash that Amorim left him behind. Anything better than Amorim was a success, right? So with that in mind, it now becomes Carrick opportunity. So that might play into the narrative or the opportunity for Arteta. But be under no illusion about Arteta. He has shown that he's capable of evolving. There's been a couple of questions in my mind over the years. He'll evolve again. So there's no doubt in my mind that Arteta can build this Arsenal side to be even better and potentially win the Champions League next season. And he will be supported because the alternative is, why would they not? Arsenal are making money now. They're back into being a profitable football club. Their brand around the world is huge again. So they'll go. And Arteta, I think, will keep on evolving Arsenal.
And without the same pressure.
Yes. Yeah. Good point. Of course, all roads lead to the US next week as the World Cup gets underway. Am I right? You having a specific look at Spain this morning, Alex?
Yeah, so as a little bit of a feature in the run-up each day, we thought we'd work our way through the market, do a little bit of a preview on the teams ahead of the World Cup. Sadly, I did have to let our good friend Sean Martin down this morning and tell him we'd probably have to run the feature until Christmas Day if we got to his lot north of the border. Sorry, Jim.
Shut up, Alex. Yes, yeah.
But yeah, on to Spain, who amazingly haven't picked a Real Madrid player for the first time ever. They come into it as joint favourites with Manu's France at 9-2. They are the current European champions, but interestingly, they haven't won a World Cup knockout game since they beat Germany in the final in 2010. They're in what looks like a straightforward group with Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. But if any punters do fancy them to follow that trend and fall at the first knockout hurdle, that's 4-1 for a round of 32 exit. Or if you think they'll go in the round of 16, like they have in the last 2 World Cups, and that's 15-4. Personally, something just tells me it's not going to be Spain this year. But this time, I'm looking at the front three. They were so heavily reliant on Yamal and Nico Williams out wide in the Euros, but a couple of injury questions around both of them, and I don't think after that they have too much, which is probably the opposite of France, who Sean's going to cover tomorrow. They've got an abundance of attacking options, as we know. And with Manu in the studio, of course, I need to ask, are you all in on France winning it, or
Yes.
anyone else who you fancy?
Yeah, of course. Not because I'm French, but because I really believe that France have a strong chances, to win the World Cup. I think there is probably 6 or 7 teams maximum to win the World Cup, and France is one of the favorites,
Yeah. What about Spain? What chance do you give them?
Well, it will depend of Lamine Yamal. I mean, Spain collectively is the best team in the world. They show it, on the last tournament in Euro 2 years ago. But I think Lamine Yamal is the masterpiece, If he's 100% fit, actually he's injured, it will be very difficult because that reminds me, Paris Saint-Germain, collectively they're the best team, but individuals, they make things different, at crucial time. And Lamine Yamal is special.
Yeah, yeah. Simon, you think it's maybe Spain's time, maybe France's time? Where are you going with it?
I think England have a very good chance under Tuchel. I think if we get a little bit of luck in certain games, I think Tuchel is the difference. I think the French are the best side with the best players. And the attacking firepower they've got could probably populate 3 or 4 of the best sides. But I think if England get a little bit of luck and a bit of momentum behind them, I think Tuchel is a top manager. I might not want him at domestic level, but that doesn't alter the fact that he is a top manager. And I think he is the key component which can take England from where they were with Gareth, which was close. If he gets the opportunities that Southgate gets and the draws kind and things play out our way, he won't make the mistakes that we've made in the past.
And you might get Mexico in the quarterfinals if it works out your way in Mexico City.
So what? These are big players. These are big players that play for big football clubs. They're familiar with pressure. They're familiar with playing in big stadiums. They're familiar with playing with big stages. These are not players that aren't. Look at the lineup.
This is what you're looking for when you play World Cup,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get that kind of emotions, adversity.
Mm. Do you share Simon's confidence?
Yes. Yeah, I think England, they are among the favourites, to win the World Cup.
Okay.
Whereas you've got to look up to June the 24th, and that'll be your lot.
There you go. See,
it's like Arsenal, winning after 22 years, but it's been quite even more, for the Three Lions, The last time they won something was in 1966. So
yes,
it's 60 years ago.
Oh, I know.
I was not born.
I know. I was, and I remember it. Were you born then? No. I watched it in my living room in Glasgow. Roland Garros.
25-year-old.
I was 30. Roland Garros. What's the latest there? Right in the backyard of Monsieur Petit, of course.
Yeah, well, with this shock exit of Sinner, there's only one name on everyone's lips at the minute, and that's the 19-year-old Brazilian João Fonseca. He, as we know, he stunned Novak Djokovic, and he's now being talked about as someone who can hopefully disrupt the dominance of Alcaraz and Sinner. He was 40-1 to win the Roland Garros last week. He's now second favourite at 19-5. Behind Zverev, who's the 5-4 favourite, but as we know, Zverev he struggled to get it over the line with 3 Grand Slam final defeats now. The two are set to meet in the semi-final if both of them win the quarters tomorrow. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on. But either way, we're set to see a brand new Grand Slam winner on Sunday with nobody left in the competition with a slam under the belt.
Okay. And tomorrow, are you previewing the World Cup? Are you previewing what, the French or maybe England?
Yeah, Sean's going to do the French tomorrow.
Sean's going to do the French tomorrow. And do we have a wait for Scotland? Yeah.
Yeah, New Year's Day, I think.
That's going to take 2 minutes, says Simon. Oh, I love it. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
You were being facetious right up to the break there, weren't you?
I was saying you should do a review of the Scotland team along with Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara on their show. That's the right place to review that.
When we come back, we are going to take calls from Liverpool fans because we put the questions out just before 11:30. The sacking of Arne Slot, is it the harshest sacking in Premier League history? And were you one of the Liverpool hardcore who had made your mind up? You were no longer having him. If so, why so? Give us a call. 03717 22 3344.
Big week, big week, big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Can I get congratulations?
Happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Do you know how pathetic this is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. You can't celebrate. You come in
straight in. Bro, at least like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, go straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in the championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up, bro? I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation.
Nobody.
We're having this conversation.
He's coming in for a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war, like,
honestly,
crazy.
I just can't believe it. I've witnessed you in real life. You've walked through the door like the cat.
You want me to come in here? It's 30 degrees outside. How do you want me to walk in?
I think you should come in here very reticent and basically say, "Oh my God, by the skin of our teeth, we got away."
Bro, you know I don't play for Spurs, right? You know that. I got my whole own thing going on.
I
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
Monsieur Petit leaves us at 12 noon. I'm going to talk boxing the other side of that with Daniel Dubois. You're listening to Jim White, Simon Jordan and Emmanuel Petit. We're live on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com. Arne Slot's representatives reportedly said on Friday night there was no change in the support from Liverpool's hierarchy, and they had been expecting to go into another season. Arne Slot still very much in place. What do you know? Saturday morning, the day of the Champions League final, news came through Slot had gone, parting company with Liverpool. Liverpool said, our appreciation for everything he has achieved could not be greater, particularly as it was underpinned by a work ethic, a diligence, and a level of expertise which further underlined our view that he is a leader in his field. So why not keep him? Why sack him? Why part company with Arne Slot? Is it the harshest sacking in Premier League history? 03717 223344. Daz is a big Liverpool fan. Emmanuel's here, so too is Simon, obviously. What did you think of this, Daz? Did you see this coming?
I'll tell you what, I've been frustrated. Sorry, guys. It's an absolute honour to speak to a World Cup winner and you two gentlemen as well.
Good morning.
Thank you, Emmanuel. You're an absolute graceful player, wonderful player. To get back to the point, I had to growl because I lost the will to live. Honestly, I'm a Liverpool fan 40-odd years. I've got a big tattoo on my arm of Liverpool. I try to get to as many games as possible. But the thing is, you've got to call it how it is. Slot's a great man. He was a good manager. But sometimes some people are not good enough for that role. And some pundits are going, oh, he's this and he's that and all that. It's rubbish. When we played Plymouth in the FA Cup in his first season, look at the team he put out. Liverpool fans paid a lot of money to go to that game, and he was playing youth team players, and I think Chiesa was the captain of that game. It's appalling, and his arrogance. I mean, the way he treated Chiesa was a bit overweight, probably not match fit, but every time he came on the pitch, he got a goal. He set a goal up. When you see him on the bench, he was delighted.
But Daz, did you expect him to win you the Premier League title in his first season?
Oh, no way. I didn't put. No, I thought it'd be Man City or like the usual suspects. But saying that, people saying, oh, it was Slot's team. Yeah, but it probably was Slot's team because you think about it. We only bought in Miliashvili and then loaned him out, and then we bought in Chiesa for 12 million because we thought we could flip him and get 3 times as much money probably the following season, get him fit. The thing what annoyed me about Slot was his attitude. He was sending the players out with no idea. And the thing is, before the season started, I told everybody, I was boring people to death about who the players I want Liverpool to buy. I want Liverpool to go out and buy 3 players. That's all we needed. We needed a centre-back, a winger, I said, go and get Wirtz, go and get Semenyo, and go and get Gahey. Look at that, 85 million for Gahey and Semenyo, but then we go and pay 150, 40, 50 million for Isak. We didn't need Isak. Do you know what I mean? It's all about. I think Liverpool got a bit trigger happy on the budget. We didn't need it. And look at all the players he got rid of. I mean, I've never been a Quansah fan, but he's in the England team.
All right, Daz, listen, many points here for us to dwell upon. Thank you. Here's Owen, who's a big Liverpool fan. Did it surprise you, Owen? Or did you back Slot, or did you want him gone?
I backed him at the start, but I think coming in after Klopp, it's the same with United under Fergie. It's going to be a poison chalice and a mountain to climb. But I've never known a dressing room to have so much leaked out with it. And then with Salah putting that post up, I think that was the last knife in the back, really. And Szoboszlai being played out of position, he seemed to have lost his way during the Arsenal game when we pinched that 1-0 in the free kick. I don't think he understood just what he had to do and how to galvanise the team again.
Okay. You thought he'd lost his way, Owen. Ricky's a big Liverpool fan. Ricky, did you think Slot had lost his way?
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, of course. I mean, last year when he won the league, I always said that the other teams were weak, yeah? And Liverpool won the league because the other teams were weak. Now, this year, what happened was we basically bought players. And our biggest mistake was selling Luis Diaz, and then we never recruited players, but we were still missing a defender, a defensive midfielder, another winger, right? So that had problems for us. Also, what he done, he was putting players out of position. yeah, and he lost his identity, he lost the crowd, he lost me, yeah, and I wanted them gone because I thought, you know what?
You wanted them gone.
How many players, how many games did we lose? It was just unacceptable.
Okay, Ricky, here's Emmanuel. Emmanuel, did you think the writing was on the wall for Slot and it was a matter of time?
Honestly, when I look, I completely agree, Luis, when I saw him, going to Bayern Munich, I thought to myself, why the hell? This guy was so amazing, for Liverpool, yeah. And you're losing a real weapon, And when I look on the money spent on the same players, 2 strikers, I thought something is not wrong, Spending so much money, but some position need, to be changed, and they didn't. And the fact is that it's quite the same with what's happening actually with Manchester City. It's the same, with Arsene Wenger when he left. Klopp, after I think he stayed 7 years, something like that. 9 years. Can you imagine? This guy was. I remember, the celebration the last game before he left. I thought the connection with the players and the fans was very strong, and they want everything, with him. He was such charismatic. So I thought when he left, the legacy he leaves into the club is so important. The players were missing that link, with the manager, and we see that Slot has made so much mistakes, during the first putting the first 11, on different position. That's what I said before. He lost the dressing room, and then he lost the fan, and simple as that. That was over.
It's all gone.
Yeah, the legacy I think was too huge for him.
What credit and time does winning a Premier League title give you, though, Simon?
Well, I think it should give him a little bit more than one bad season. But you have to believe that the bad season is the exception and not going to be the rule. And clearly they believe that the bad season has a potential to be supplemented by a further bad season. I said to you, Liverpool have form here. They allowed Brendan Rodgers to go into the next season, and then Klopp came available, and they took him in October, and Klopp went on and lost various finals and eventually landed as the people's hero because he galvanised the club, he united the fans with it, and he played a brand of football that we all liked. But his reputation is bigger than his deeds, irrespective of how wonderful he was for Liverpool. He hasn't got this great big litany of trophies. And it's interesting that Liverpool, because we can talk about entitlement and expectation, Arteta was given an opportunity to pivot and to build. Liverpool have won 2 Premier Leagues in 32 years. This guy's won one of them, and he won it in his first season. And we all argued for the fact it was Klopp's team, and he had to carry on. But notwithstanding it, he did. And he took edges off the side, and they went on and won the Premier League. And we can all argue about the weakness of the league, and I think people are right. It was a weaker league last year.
Right.
I would have felt that, but then when you get a manager as good as the Bournemouth manager comes available, the challenge becomes, it's not just about getting rid of Slot. There's someone that we really think could be the next evolution of Liverpool. So that was a double-edged sword for him. The season wasn't great for him. There was a lack of respect from the dressing room that seems to have found its way into the psyche of the players. The fans were offside. He was talking about, I'm not going to get these fans back. He was relaxed about it. I'm not going to get them back now. I'll get them back next year. With the plans that I've got in mind. So he knew things were wrong, and he clearly had a vision and clearly discussed it with Liverpool Bull. But out of the ether, Iriola comes up, not signing a contract with Bournemouth, becomes available.
Get him in.
And then you've got a manager that everyone looks at and thinks, well, he's a real manager.
Emmanuel, I know you've got to leave us now, but no doubt next time you're with us, who knows, maybe Iriola will be in place and we can talk further about Liverpool.
Yes.
Is it safe to go back to Paris?
Yeah.
Because that's where you've
Don't
got to
worry.
do.
It's over now.
It's over now. Emmanuel Petit heads to Saint Pancras.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Saint Pancras for the Eurostar.
Yes.
Love that. Emmanuel Petit leaves us as Daniel Dubois joins us at 12 noon.
Look, he was on stage last night. It was quite an emotional sort of admission, really. He said that after Brighton, I think in week 10, I came off the stage, and the incident in Manchester where he had the argument with Jan van Veen, I was sat at home and I was saying to Faith, I don't want to do it anymore. Just the crowd every week. I said to her, I'm down bad. Now, listen, he was probably out of order to do the crybaby emoji or whatever it was he was doing to Van Veen, and he got a little bit of stick for that. But did we go, as a general public, did we protect him enough? We have to remember that he's 19 years of age. And bearing in mind the way he was talking there about his mental health, and bearing in mind we had a conversation last hour about Ricky Hatton and how, we deal with these situations. Do we have to be a little bit careful with him?
We definitely have to be, because we forget he's only 19. I mean, for me, I've got a 17-year-old who's 18 in a few weeks. They're still learning about life. They've got so much to learn. They're kids. His mistakes that he's probably made, doing the crying faces, he's going to make more mistakes. He's a 19-year-old boy. Like grown men are in a crowd booing him, hurling abuse. Do you know what I mean? I played with loads of players that in training, they were fantastic players. On a game day, they couldn't handle the effect of the crowd. And
do you think there was players that played in your dressing room
100%.
that were equally as talented and gifted, maybe better than some of those that were in the team, but they couldn't deal with the expectation?
They couldn't deal with the expectation, but also the abuse you get from the stands. The fans having a go at you, opposition fans. Not all players can handle.
Knuckleball free kicks. They used to be all the rage, but when was the last time you saw someone score with one? We're going to take a look at why we're not really seeing them anymore, and also explain a bit more about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s, probably because that Ronaldo strike in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve, and it moves. So what do? Top corner, top bins.
The name knuckleball comes from a baseball pitch held with the knuckles rather than the fingertips, which doesn't spin as it travels. Now, no ball is a perfect sphere, so as it travels, it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Brazilian free-kick specialist Juninho Pernambucano wasn't the first player to do it, but he did perfect it, scoring 77 free kicks over his career, more than anyone else. He was inspired by 90s midfielder Marcelinho Carioca and a guy called Didi, who was hitting knuckleballs in the 50s and 60s. Brazilians call it the dry leaf, because the ball looks like a leaf that gets blown around in the wind this way and that. So how do you do it? The key point is to hit the ball head on, usually with a straighter run-up. It's a punch-like shot and, crucially, as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Some people think players hit the valve to affect the air inside the ball. That's not the reason. It's because the part of the ball around the valve is more rigid, helping to shorten that contact time. Remember the David Luiz beauty against Colombia in the 2014 World Cup? We don't really see knuckleballs anymore. Why? Because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season, there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. In 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, by its very nature, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Good afternoon, everybody. 5 minutes past 12 noon. It's Jim White, it's Simon Jordan, and we are live on talkSPORT. Emmanuel Petit has come and gone and is heading back to Paris on the Eurostar. And that's fine by us because it gives us a perfect opportunity, Simon, to talk boxing with one of the main headline makers in that particular sport. Daniel Dubois overcame 2 early knockdowns to beat Fabio Wardley with an 11th round stoppage in Manchester last weekend. And now 2 times heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel Dubois, it seems, will go again with Fabio Wardley. The two will get back in the ring in the fullness of time. Daniel's business manager, Riz Khan, joins us in studio, but so does the man himself. Riz, good to see you. Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you, Jim.
Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
yeah. Good afternoon to you.
Good.
Simon and I, well, you were super impressed by this fella and the job I think that he did on the night of the Wardley fight. Relive it for us, because I was on my feet in that first round when he put you to the canvas. What on earth was going on?
It's a fight, man. You know, you get in the shower, you're going to get wet. So I just had to roll with the shots and come back even better. It was a great fight, though. I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it. You enjoyed it, Simon.
Yeah,
Grinning from ear to ear.
Everyone enjoyed it. It was what everyone thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Everyone thought, when I did the show with Daniel and Fabio on the Friday night, he was in fight mode, and there was this debate about where his mind was. There was no doubt in my mind that he was ready to fight. There was no doubt that there was any deviation in Daniel's mind about what was the task ahead, because he'd lost Usyk in his last fight. He was ready to go. And so it was the fight that I expected it to be, in terms of it was a brutal fight. It was going to be a hard fight, because both of them are absolutely outstanding in terms of their determination to win this particular title.
Daniel, 2 times heavyweight champion. How does it feel? How does that sound to you?
It's amazing. This is just amazing to be back here with the belt, and 2-time. It's what we've been training for, what I was going for, and we got it. So shout out to the whole team as well.
I mean, it was a brutal affair, and Riz, I'm coming your way in a second, but I mean, can you relive it for us? In the middle of it all, your trainer Don Charles wanted more from you.
Yeah.
And he slapped you about, brave guy, Don, if you're listening this lunchtime, he slapped you about the face. This was Don Charles telling us why he did that.
It's not something I premeditated. It's not something I planned to do. It's an instinctive energy charge to reaction.
It's a hell of a thing to do, isn't it?
I'll tell you what drove me to do that, because it was at the beginning of round 4?
Yep.
I think it was beginning of round 4 or 5. Anyway, so he's come back, and I've realised that Fabio is unleashing bombs and not connecting.
Right.
Do you know how sapping that is? It's harder. You waste more energy by missing than actually making contact. Because Daniel's got a brilliant amateur pedigree.
Yep.
The footwork of an amateur was the technique, was part of the game plan. Use your amateur footwork, because we know Fabio will struggle. You can't punch what's not there, basically.
Of course.
Go like a pendulum, in, out, in, out.
You're laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, did that totally shock you when he did that?
No, I told him to do that, to be honest.
What you said to him?
Yeah, I told him to slap me harder, man. I was just adrenaline, the fuel of the fight. I know how much it mattered to me and to the team, so I was prepared to do whatever it took to win.
Oh my God, it worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't it? Did you know, I am going to get Wardley out of there?
Yeah, I could. As you know, when you're in a fight, you can just feel it. And I'll shout out to him for being a great warrior. He's a great gladiator. And we put on a spectacular fight. It takes 2 to tango. So, yeah, shout out to him.
I mean, a fight is a fight, but you had your own early setback, as we described. I mean, to come back in the fashion that you did, and also, did you think that the referee might have been slow to get Fabio out of there as well?
It's not my job to make decisions on that. I was like just in fight mode. Looking back on it, it looks like he should have taken him out before that. But they obviously thought he could pull out the bag like he's done before, and he's come back from the dead a few times. But yeah, we got the job done, man.
You did indeed, and we'll get to what's next very shortly. Now, Riz, you're business manager of Daniels, and you've been with him a number of number of years now. What have you got in this fella?
I mean, what have we got? I think the records, the stats really are testament to what Daniel's achieved. And for me, it really goes back 6 years, because if you look at Daniel's record over the last 6 years, apart from Usyk, he's not lost to anybody. The first man to knock out Anthony Joshua ever in history. And sometimes when you look at the reaction, whether it's from the media or the public, I think sometimes it's a bit unfair that Daniel doesn't get the rewards which he actually deserves from my perspective.
Why do you think that is, Ruth? You think he's overlooked?
I do think he's overlooked in the sense that as we sit here today, if you look at his fight post Usyk, he's had tough fights every single time. After Usyk won, it was Baby Miller, Hrgovic, Joshua, back to Usyk, and then you're fighting Fabio Wardley again for the world title. So every one of those fights is a top-end elite fight. So, it's just testament that he keeps coming back. And in reality, if you just look at his record over that past 6 years, it's been impeccable apart from Usyk. But then again, who's had a good record against Usyk if you look at the stats? So I think, moving forward, it's really going to be about Daniel getting the recognition, what he deserves in what he's achieved. But, I've seen him in the gym over the past couple of years, and he's completely focused. And then again, we get to fight week and Daniel's in the zone, and sometimes the public will say, right, okay, he's actually not engaging with the public or the media in the way he should be. But Daniel is not an entertainer. He's a boxer. And I think if you look at post-fight, if you look at his interview, if you heard his interview post-fight, I think it's very eloquent. Daniel will position himself, I think. He positions himself quite well, depending on the situation.
You're agreeing with that, Simon?
Yeah, I do. I think that Daniel, if you see Daniel now, is a very nice, very affable fella. See him in fight week, he's in fight mode. He's not interested in being affable. He's not interested in being... He's got a job in mind.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other personalities that he has to compete against, which are different animals. We're all different. We have different characteristics. Tyson Fury, besides being a boorish oaf, at times is a wonderful entertainer.
Yeah.
And Anthony Joshua has got this... carries the nation on his shoulders since 2012. So Daniel's being pitched against that. You have to judge him as a fighter. People have been unfair. The media have been unfair. We've all been unfair at times. The Joe Joyce narrative that was seen, we were at that fight. We saw it, right? We saw him in that fight. And people like David Haye came out and made observations that stuck about whether he had the stomach for fights and whether he had the heart for it. And he's had to deal with that. And narratives get seeded with people. So I think it's unfair. He's a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. Now, move beyond the entertainment and the packaging of him of a great speaker, great spoker, a great speaker. But as a fighter, he's now in his moment now. Yeah. He's in his moment now.
Fabio Wardley, the two of you go again, Daniel. You'll run it again. Fabio says this time, I made some mistakes. I'll rectify those in the rematch. Congratulations to Daniel, but I'm coming for you and my belt. What kind of Fabio Wardley do you expect next time?
I expect to be a lot better myself, as an improved version of myself. Now that I'm champion, now it's time to go and just clean up the division again. That's all I'm seeing now. I'm on my journey. I'm on my journey to reclaiming, getting all the belts and sealing my legacy.
This alleged Daniel Dubois lack of heart.
Oh,
did that get to you?
I thought I silenced it last time. All of that.
You did disprove it against Wardley.
Yeah.
But did that play in your mind? Was that irritating you?
That doesn't even come into my mind. I'm a seek and destroy type of fighter. So
did you feel disrespected?
I got thick skin, man. I got thick skin. You know what I mean, mate?
I think Daniel's proven to the world, and when history judges him between, let's say, even 2020 and 2026, nobody's going to talk about lack of heart. They're going to talk about fighting a great in Usyk, losing to Usyk, and nobody else within that period.
Yeah.
So, when heart comes into it, I think 2-time world champion.
Oh, yeah.
That's a phenomenal achievement.
But Riz, that criticism became Daniel's way before this on this topic, lack of heart. Yeah. Did you feel he was disrespected?
Of course. As a team member, sometimes the narrative needs to change when you're looking at who he's been in with.
Yeah.
And I'm pointing out to the last, 6 years. If you look at the Joe Joyce, he had a damaged eye socket. So if he had carried on, and it would have been a case of, well, actually, the corner or Daniel was negligent to himself, you know, in carrying on with the fight. So sometimes it's a double-edged sword, boxing is.
Sure.
So if you're on top, you're winning, and you've got a tick, then everybody's behind you.
Yeah.
If there's any controversial area, such as, well, actually, he's been knocked out, or he's not gone on to carry on with the fight, then he's given in. But like I say, history will tell the story. Two-time world champion, and
That's powerful.
If you look at it, we were talking about Rico last week. He could have easily been beaten Usyk.
Yes. Riz, stay with us. Many messages coming in. Quite a number of questions for Daniel. Big fight fans getting in touch this lunchtime. Daniel Dubois, live in studio with us here on talkSPORT, courtesy of Selco, where the trade goes.
David is an Arsenal fan. He's written the next big Arsenal song to rival North London forever. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning, David. Let's talk about the right side of North London now, people. Championes, championes.
Tell us about the song that you've written. Can you give us a blast on air?
Oh, I'd love to. So it's called "We're Going All the Way" by my artist named Guna Gonna Sing. So if you're finding out, have a listen, blast out. And there's a little bit of an intro with a bit of commentary from the end of the Atletico Madrid Arsenal game, and then it goes into it like this. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Unfortunately, we're ready.
Okay, here we go. We're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Rewriting history, unbeaten every game we played. Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Mikel Arteta is our man. The Gunners going on for victory. North London is redder than ever. We're making history.
Oh.
You'll see, but we're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
And there you go. You get the drift?
David.
When are you on top of the pops, mate? Deary me.
Listen, catchy, isn't it? Catchy.
Not one bit, mate.
I quite like that, David.
Terrible.
Listen, you're going to have to do more than that to get Gabby on.
Terrible, David.
You'll be singing it in your sleep in no time.
Do me one favour, David. Never sing that again, please. Thank you, mate.
David. Singing it every day, all night long.
Yeah, don't let the anti-Arsenal stop you, David. Thank you very much for your call.
I'm going for a break. Bye-bye.
It's going to be
I've got a
okay.
headache
You're
now.
going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Just hang tight.
Racket.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
Monday lunchtime, we're in the company of 2 times heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel Dubois, in studio with Simon and myself. So too is Daniel's business manager, Riz Khan, as we discuss the next fight for is the same as the last one. Maybe not exactly the same, but Daniel demolished Fabio Wardley in the last fight, and now the two will go again. Simon, before we get into this further, Fabio Wardley, has he got the arsenal to topple Daniel?
Well, I think most people felt going into this fight he had the momentum. And because he'd shown the ability to be able to overcome adversity and he kept on overcoming it, that they weren't sure what Daniel they were going to get. We all felt if Daniel, if he hung his chin out against Daniel, would have trouble. And he did. He didn't get demolished, Jim. He went 11 rounds and it was a good fight. And Daniel came out and deserved to be victorious. And I think from round 7, I think most people felt, actually, this is only going one way.
Oh, yeah.
And so with that in mind, I think most people felt that he could have been taken out at 8 or 9. Fabio will take from this fight for the rematch, if indeed it does actually happen. And the interesting thing is that obviously Frank represents both fighters. Daniel can't be out of the ring for a long period of time. So if Fabio needs more time to recover, that becomes a challenge in terms of the contractual obligations. Fabio, I suspect, will take from this that he didn't get knocked out. The referee intervened and stopped the fight. So that will be his strength and believing that he can do better. Daniel will go from strength to strength. And as much as I like both fighters, and as much as I like Fabio, I can't see it getting any better for him.
Right.
I feel that Daniel, it gets worse for him if he takes Daniel into the rematch.
And is this the next fight that you expect to happen, that you'll go in again with Fabio Wardley then, Daniel?
Yeah, well, that's what they're talking about, but I'm not going to wait on no one. I'm going to get busy with that belt, defend that belt, and can't wait to start improving, getting out there, and just maximising on what we've done and what we've worked on since I was a little kid, being taken to the gym by my dad, and now we're here. So it's been a good journey.
Contractually, he's obligated to this rematch, which was a one-way transaction in terms of the ability for Fabio to call it. The timelines on this are what? How long does he have? I mean,
he's obviously exercised his option for the rematch. And the finer details, obviously, are with Frank. So I think it'd be remiss for me to disclose what.
But there is a timeline, isn't there?
There will be a timeline.
Yeah.
But I think the way we see it as a team is we don't know the psychological sort of scars Fabio will have, and also the physical ones as well. So we, as Daniel just alluded to, we are not going to wait forever. So if it's going to take a number of months for Daniel, for Fabio to...
With respect, the contract must define there's a period, right?
There is a period,
so he can take that period of time. So that period is 6 months or 9 months. Daniel can't fight anybody else until he performs that. So is it a long period of time? Is it a 6 month, 9 months? Is there a drop dead date for it to be fought?
So there is a cut-off date. There is a cut-off date.
Which is what?
Which is a number of months away. I can't give you the exact
Inside
date.
This year?
Yeah.
Inside this year.
It'll be within a 12-month period. However, in this situation, Frank Warren's the kingmaker. He obviously manages a number in the heavyweight division at this moment in time. So we will see how Fabio's recovery is, and Frank will make some decisions on if there's going to be a potential lapse in time, and it's going to go over the expiry date, then I'm sure Frank will be looking at other opponents. But until we get to that stage, I think it's fair to say that we will be sticking.
How do you feel about it, Daniel? I mean, in your mind, you've done your job. You've beaten Fabio Wardley. You're done. Are you worried about fighting? Not worried in terms of fighting him again, but would you prefer to move on and fight someone else?
It doesn't matter to me. I would have probably maybe fight someone else. Maybe take that belt and travel with that belt or something. Do something like that. But if you got to do it again, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, you've spoken about the journey you're on now, Daniel.
Yeah.
What is the ultimate dream? Your ultimate ambition?
Definitely unified. To get all the belts.
Undisputed.
Undisputed, unified champion. And that's what I'm going for. Collect them all now. I've had a taste of it, and now we just, need to get all the pieces in place and, cover up some of the gaps and just become a complete fighter.
And potentially that would mean, would it not, going in against Usyk again?
Yeah, whoever it is, I've got to take care of him.
And as Usyk's alluded to, that he could end up fighting Daniel again for a trilogy. And if you fast forward, say, 12, 18 months, Usyk's going to be in a different place age-wise, and Daniel's going to be in a different place. He'll be more experienced, and hopefully a few more defences, under his belt. So we could be in a situation where that fight could become, a possibility again.
Why do you think it would be different this time for you going in against Usyk, Daniel?
I think we'll just cover up some of the holes I had in my game and my team last time. So I feel like it's just going to be a whole new complete fighter, and I'm just going to be out to get him. That's it, out to get him, get the belts as well.
Rico Verhoeven, a kickboxer, was out to get him last week and tried and failed. What did you make of Usyk in that fight?
He did well, didn't he? That's what I'm hearing. I didn't watch the fight, but I saw the highlight.
You don't watch it?
I didn't watch it, no.
Why?
I don't know. I just checked out the next day. I mean, kickboxer and a boxer is... I don't take it too seriously, but he did well. He did well. He did.
Do you think Usyk might be getting towards being past his peak?
Maybe. I think so. He looked like he was struggling a bit, but he got the win. We'll see. What did you think?
I think we were quietly surprised at how deep into the fight Verhoeven took Usyk.
Well, I thought Usyk was poor, and I know Peter Fury has a great objection with that because it diminishes his own fighter. But I thought that Usyk was poor. I didn't think he was conditioned as I've seen him conditioned. Certainly wasn't in the same condition when he fought in.
No.
And I just thought that he wasn't at the level. I don't think Daniel will fight Usyk again. I think that ship was sailed. I think, with due respect, I think it's difficult to sell that as a trilogy because there's 2-0, so there's no real there's no jeopardy in it. And I think Usyk will go fight Ajit Kabiel if he's been forced into that, and that might be the fight. Daniel Dubois takes the belts off Ajit Kabiel or fights him. But either which way, he deserves a lot of respect, Daniel, and all the respect for being a two-time world champion.
But Simon, if you can push Verhoeven Usyk as a fight, you could push this fella as a fight with Usyk for a third time.
That was a different dynamic, wasn't it? That was a different ideal. That was entertainment at its centre. And of course, it became more serious for Usyk because all of a sudden he was in a fight where he could potentially have lost. And so you have to look at that in isolation. But I mean, I'm interested to see. The big thing for me with Daniel, without wanting to speak on his behalf, because people can do it, is belief. The big thing for me in that second fight against Usyk was I didn't feel that the belief was there, and I thought it was shown in the first round. Now, winning the world title back, maturing as a man, you can see him maturing. You can see how more articulate he's becoming in the media, how more confident he is, right? Growing up in a certain way, understanding the responsibilities of being the heavyweight champion of the world. If he goes in with Usyk again, I think there'll be more belief, because I didn't feel that belief. I felt the belief when I watched him against Joshua, when he walked in against Joshua with 90,000 fans waiting to give Joshua all the attention. I felt his attention, his mindset was there. I didn't feel it in the second fight against Usyk, and I felt it against Wardley. So if we fight Usyk again, I think he'll believe more.
Outside of Alexander Usyk, Daniel, who do you think would give you your biggest challenge?
I think all of the top 10 in the heavyweight divisions that's who I'm aiming for. All of the top 10, all of them.
But you believe you could topple everyone?
Yeah, all of them.
Moses Zitoma?
All of them.
You would beat Moses Zitoma?
I'd beat them all. Under the right conditions. When I'm ready and I'm on it, I'll come through them all.
Would you see Daniel at this time?
Of course he thinks that. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. He's not going to suggest that anyone's going to beat him, is he? We will see. Who do you see as his biggest challenge outside of Usyk? Timing's everything. If he fights Moses Zitoma in 2 years, 18 months' time, I think that's a huge challenge. Depends what happens. Moses is going to go in against Hrgovic. We're going to get a yardstick. If he goes against Hrgovic, he dealt with Hrgovic. If Moses Zitoma goes and blasts Hrgovic out in 2 rounds, which is a big ask, all of a sudden conversations with Hrgovic. But it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. Because it's British fighters as well.
I think in reality, Jim, if you look at the pathways leading to a potential super fight with Moses Zitoma, that's a couple of years away. Yeah. But between now and 2 years, this man will clean up the division. I've got no doubt on that. And the other name out there who we've been talking about is Kabiel. Yeah. And I think Daniel is steps ahead of Kabiel at this moment in time.
Let's finish with this, Daniel. I mean, what does it mean to the Dubois family, what you're doing at the moment? Is your dad still involved with it?
Of course.
Yeah.
100%. It's great. It's good. I travel around with my brother to all the amateur shows and amateur functions.
Yeah, what age is he?
He's 13, so I'm out there mixing with the boxing people, the real boxing community, and I love the support and the energy I get for them.
You try to guide him through?
Yeah, no, he's coming through on his own. He's doing his thing.
Brilliant. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being with us, Daniel.
No.
And in the fullness of time, we will see whether it's going to be Fabio Wardley, the rematch, or not.
Yeah, no.
But magnificent. Riz, thank you very much indeed. Riz Khan, business manager of Daniel Dubois, with us in studio at 12:30 this Monday lunchtime.
Joey is on the line now. Joey, you're an Arsenal fan. Good morning. How's things?
Good morning, Joe.
Morning, and no good morning to you, Gabi Abonlaho. You've been doing my head in since Saturday, the 17th of August, 2013. And that was the season I got my season ticket. You came into that game, you mesmerized our defense. We lost 3-1. I got home and my wife asked me, "Oh wow, Gabi Abonlaho has done this to you." And every time I have a bad day out there and I get home, the first thing my wife asked me is Gabi be doing your head in? Gabi, you're doing my head in, and
I don't mean
you've turned yourself to become the big ambassador of anti-Arsenal. Like, you just go after Arsenal. You go after Arsenal every single day. Gabi, for goodness sake. This morning we're talking about Gordon. You win all the British press, try bringing the British players. And then, in the same minute, you will say you don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. Gabi, that is a conflict of contradiction. You have an apparent bias against Arsenal. And you've been doing my head in since 2013, Gabi.
Joe,
For goodness
listen.
sake, let me have a break.
I don't want you to have a bad day because of me. I want you to enjoy your day. The weather's good. I want you to be happy, Joe.
Joe, that was brilliant. That was some rant. I really enjoyed that. Keep them coming in. 03717 2233.
I don't mean to do that to Joe.
Yeah, no.
I don't like that he's
right.
having bad days.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I want to have a very good day listening to us on the radio.
Yeah. And do you know what? If you don't like it, there's a button in your car, and you just turn that off.
Yeah, but listen, everything that Joey says there. Listen, I want him to have a very good day.
Yeah.
I want him to have listen to talkSPORT and be happy, but I want PSG to still win.
Yeah. You really wound him up this morning.
I love Paris though. It's one of my favourite cities. I love PSG, the way they play, their manager. Kvaratskhelia is my...
James Milner has retired from professional football after a 24-year Premier League career. He played for 6 teams in the top flight, having made his debut for Leeds in 2002 and broke the Premier League appearance record back in February. Plenty more on that one at talksport.com. Now, after hundreds of thousands of Arsenal fans line the streets of North London to celebrate their first Premier League in 22 years, we've asked them why the Gunners get so much stick.
To be honest, I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out, why people hate us so much. Insecurities.
I think they're just jealous that we've got such a great fan base.
And talkSPORT's Jeff Stelling says Gunners fans are rightly proud of their team despite that attritional style of play.
You know when you see a baby who's not particularly pretty and you say, only a mother could love that. Well, that is Arsenal in a footballing sense for the neutral.
Elsewhere, Arne Slot has thanked Liverpool fans for making him feel welcome. The Dutchman has told the Liverpool Echo he leaves the club where it belongs, in Europe's elite. Anfield legend Mark Lawrenson says Slot's football simply wasn't in your face enough.
It was almost like this, this Dutch kind of thing where, we'll get the ball and we'll knock it around. He just didn't get Liverpool and the football club at all.
And Andoni Iraola is still in pole position to replace Slot.
Daniel Dubois has come and gone. Thanks to everybody for chipping in some of your messages and your messages of good luck to Daniel. He's a popular guy, Simon, as he prepares to go in again at this stage against Fabio Wardley, who he beat last time out. How's it going to be for Scotland in the World Cup? Earlier on, we heard from Simon that maybe under Thomas Tuchel, England could go all the way. I wouldn't, even though I'm passionately Scottish, I wouldn't exactly expect that from the Scots, but can they get out of their group? A group that involves Haiti, Brazil, and Morocco. We shall see. The thing is, if they are going to do that, they'll have to do it without Billy Gilmore, who's been ruled out of the World Cup after suffering a knee injury in that warm-up game against Curaçao, a game they won by 4-1. Former Scotland assistant and talkSPORT Scottish World Cup pundit Mark McGee joins us live this lunchtime. Mark, good afternoon to you. I mean, this is a sad state of affairs. They're going to miss Gilmore, right?
I mean, we're all shocked. I mean, especially in Brighton, where, you know, he's so popular. You know, I know my son was very upset when he left the club. So, you know, we're all feeling it for him. But for any footballer to lose out on an opportunity like this to go to a World Cup is just absolutely devastating. And I can't tell you how sorry we all feel about it.
I mean, what does Steve Clarke do to fill the void? Because, I mean, Billy had become quite seasoned as a top international, 45 caps.
Yeah, well, and we spoke about, last time I was up seeing you guys, Simon and I had a discussion about Haiti and about what we had to do against them. And I think that Billy was exactly the type of player that had to play against Haiti, someone who could get on the ball, who could move them around, who could make passes between the lines, who could get people in, you know, so he was made perfect for it. So, you know, obviously there are others in the squad that might step up and will have to step up, but it is a great shame because I think he is exactly the sort of player that we need in this game.
Yeah, I think you were thoroughly happy that, to some extent, Mark was making a case for the opponents, Haiti.
Yeah, he was building in some insurance into the perspective about how Haiti should be doing after some of their most recent wonderful results against Nicaragua and teams like that. It must have put the fear of God into Scotland. So Mark was trying to build in some margin that they shouldn't be taken lightly.
Yeah,
which is right, but they should also be thumped.
Well, you were covering your back, Mark. You were covering every corner as this match looms.
Yeah. Jim, and you know, I can see that the Haiti match will look exactly the same as Curaçao did at the weekend, where they're a bit, you know, belligerent at the beginning, and Scotland find it a little bit difficult to break them down. But eventually, when they do make that breakthrough, they'll run away and they'll beat them by several goals.
Mark, since you last joined us, Steve Clarke has now signed a new deal that takes him through to the 2030 FIFA World Cup. Andy Robertson was on Breakfast with Laura Woods and spoke about that.
We've been able to create a special atmosphere in terms of within the squad, and all the lads are so close, but without him, it's not possible. And, you know, he's really created such a special atmosphere, and he's the one that deserves all the credit. And, obviously the contract situation, I think everyone's glad that, especially him, I think he can put it to bed now and not get asked a million questions about it. And before the World Cup, it gives us all a huge boost because, you know, there's obviously only one man that we want to lead us and want to lead us after the World Cup, and that's him. And to know that his, you know, future's sorted and he's going to be the Scotland manager for the next 4 years is good for all of us. And I think he had a big smile on his face yesterday. We all know he doesn't smile too often, but yesterday he couldn't hide it. So
I must start, Andy.
I think he's delighted as well.
So, Mark, there we go. Thoroughly endorsed by Andy Robertson and others. Is it a well-deserved move, this, to pin Steve Clarke down for more time? Or is it strange timing, in fact, before the World Cup itself?
No, I think it's deserved. I think that he has every right to know what his future holds beyond this World Cup, because I think his future doesn't hinge on them winning the World Cup. His future hinged on them qualifying for the World Cup, perhaps, and they've done that, and he's done it brilliantly. So, yeah, I think he goes into this full of confidence, and then having the backing of the likes of Andy. Andy's no sycophant. Andy would just not be on if he didn't really believe what he's saying. So Andy believes that, he is the right man and that the squad are behind him, and it certainly looks like that when you see them, the way they behave and the way they are on the pitch.
Where are you at with the timing of it, Simon?
Well, again, it's about who you replace him with. I always think that, especially now as Scotland are becoming more conversant with qualifying for tournaments, that the next stage has to be for for Scotland to stay in a tournament beyond the group stages.
Yeah.
So I would have anticipated that they would have perhaps rewarded him at the end of the tournament, having done something that isn't being done by Scottish teams, which is stay longer than the group stages. But again, it goes, who do you replace him with? What gets better? There were times I felt that he was unfairly treated. I thought he was unfairly treated after the Euros in 21, when he came back from that, and obviously you guys had a national holiday after getting a draw 0-0 at Wembley.
Sure.
And came back to a couple of results that created some noise in the media, and there was a sudden dissension towards him, and I thought that was unfair. But also, I think that he's got to, if they were to have a Horlicks of a tournament, I mean, I'm not suggesting they will. I mean, obviously, I'd take great amusement from it if they did.
Thank you.
If you do.
Yeah.
But if you have a terrible tournament and you don't get out of the group, which seems almost impossible to do, but just imagine you manage to achieve that low target, what do you do then? What do you do then? You've given them a new contract.
What would they do then, Mark?
Well, I think that, again, I don't think it's necessarily about, doing one thing or another. I think they're satisfied that in the longer term, they've got somebody who's the right man for the job. And but Simon says it's right as well. Who else do they put in there? They've invested a lot of time in terms of games into Steve and his group, his coaching staff, Stephen Naismith, the other guys. And I think just to sacrifice that, for whatever, I think is not right. I think you go forward with this group and you hope that they do well in this competition and it qualifies everything that they've done. And I think that's what will happen. I think we'll see that, Steve is the right man for the job, and I think we will get out the group, regardless of how easy Simon implies. I mean, England have got, 3 games of shooty in, and then they'll be in... they'll be in the next round, and we've got to maybe do a little bit more work than they're going to have to do. But I think we're thoroughly capable of it.
Well, you're thoroughly confident that England can go deep because you've employed a German in Thomas Tuchel.
It doesn't matter who the manager is. I mean, you've had a German as manager of Scotland with Bertie Vogts. I look at this, and there speaks a football manager, but never accountable. If you have a tournament, Steve Clarke has a tournament, and it's not. You can have the half-empty glass mentality, but you've got to be realistic. If he has a tournament where Scotland don't qualify, how do you then sell it on? It can't be just good enough to go to the World Cup. If that's the blueprint, if Scotland have now reached the point where it's just good enough to be at the World Cup or be in a tournament, then fantastic, keep on employing the same manager.
Yeah.
But if you do, for me, if I was the Scottish FA, I'd be saying to him, we want to give you a new contract, but we expect a reasonable outcome in the World Cup, which is obviously qualifying from the group stages. And once we've done that, of course we'll give you a new contract, and the economics will be the economics.
But England did the same thing with Tuchel.
I don't agree with that either. I thought Tuchel was brought in to be a tournament manager. I didn't judge. You don't judge Tuchel by winning the qualifiers. Look at the qualification. Look who we played against. There's no benchmark whatsoever. Tuchel wasn't brought in to qualify. That was a given.
Yeah.
He was brought in to when we play France or when we play one of the big nations that we never beat in a tournament.
Right.
He makes the difference.
Mark, Simon said earlier that he thinks England are good enough to win the tournament outright. Do you?
I'm not sure. I think, and that's not just about England. That's looking at France and looking at Spain and looking at Brazil and Morocco. I've got a big fancy for Morocco. I think Morocco could beat Brazil in our group. England are going to have to overcome a couple of those guys before they can win it. And I'm not sure that they can.
Okay.
Shut up.
I beg your pardon?
Shut up. Can't overcome Morocco.
Why? Well, why? What makes you so confident?
Because they will beat Morocco. First of all, I didn't say that England. I said England have some luck, and they get the right draw and the right decisions made at the right time. I didn't just go.
You said a short time ago when Emmanuel Petit was in this very studio.
And how did I say it?
England can win it?
And I said, and I then qualified by saying, if we have some luck and things go our way, and we make the right decisions at the right time, which we haven't done in previous instances. I didn't just go, carte blanche, oh yeah, England are going to win the World Cup.
No, you didn't say it like that, but you said England could win it.
Of course they could win it.
Yeah.
I tell you can't win it.
Thank you.
Scotland.
What do you want to see from the Scots then, Mark? And let's finish on an optimistic note. What's the bare minimum as far as you're concerned? Obviously, we'd love to get out of the group, yes.
15 days.
Cheers. Yeah, I think that the bare minimum for me is that they give Haiti a good thumping, that they show up well against Morocco and against Brazil, and hopefully that is enough to get them qualified through to the next stage, even if it's in third place. I think I don't dare think about the idea, even reflecting on what Simon was saying about Steve's contract, the idea that they lose to Haiti. You know, if they lose to Haiti, then clearly there's something really wrong there.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to lose to Haiti. They will beat Haiti, and then they will have a really difficult game against a really good Moroccan side. The Brazil game after that will look after itself.
Mark, before you leave us, with all your Brighton connections, James Milner retiring from the game today at the age of 40. What would you say about James and his contribution?
Well, I mean, an incredible professional and an example to every player, not just young players, but, you know, what's possible. You know, look after yourself, live right, you know, eat right, drink right, rest right, and train right. And you can have that sort of longevity. You know, it's a fantastic example to everyone in the game. You know, they're a model professional, and I congratulate him and wish him luck, of course, in his future, whatever he chooses to do.
Mark, the good news for you is I'll see you out there in the US. The bad news is you'll see the man to my left as well.
I'll look forward to seeing him.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. Mark McGee with us live this lunchtime. I think we'll give Haiti a thorough.
Yeah, but he's changed his tune. You weren't in the studio when he was sat there going, well, you can't underestimate Haiti. There's not going to be this, not going to be that. Now he's changed his tune.
Well, that's true, isn't it?
Well, of course you should be beating Haiti. Just be building an insurance policy. How weak-minded is that, building an insurance policy? Haiti going to be... I hope you get knocked out.
You can't underestimate anyone. Mark, you're still with us. You weren't underestimating Haiti, were you? Or you were quite right to say it would be foolish to do that.
Just saying they've got a couple of guys, Piro and Nozan up front, that are 6'4", and if they get a couple of corners, then Scotland are going to have to defend them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We have to guard that. You know, don't be complacent in that respect. That they don't have any device that could get them a goal. They do, but we've got to make sure that, you know, we're 4 or 5 up by the time they do get a corner kick, and then we don't have to worry.
I like the sounds of that, Mark. Thank you very much indeed. We have a thorough dossier on the Haitians.
Good, so you should be winning this game. Is it only 3 points that gets you out of the group? Do you only need 3 points? Because you'll get beat by the Moroccans and you'll get beat by the Brazilians.
Thanks, it's lovely seeing you. We're coming up to 1 o'clock this Monday lunchtime.
Perry Groves joins us now. Perry.
Good evening, Perry.
Evening, and commiserations.
Good evening. Don't want your commiserations.
I've seen you in the...
Stick your commiserations where the sun don't shine.
No, Sam.
I don't want your hollow whatever.
No.
Stick it.
No. It's commiseration.
No, it's not.
No, I think there is commiseration. I think it's fair.
No, because you're pleased.
No, I am delighted.
Do you know what? It's a weird thing, right? I don't get people taking great pleasure from other people's misfortunes.
What do you mean?
Right? When I was brought up, right, to want to be successful myself, right, and reach my goals, but if someone else is successful, be pleased from. The only caveat that is that mob up the road with Spurs, because if they'd have won it in 2019, I'd have emigrated, I'd have gone to Sydney with my boy. Right. But other than that, I don't. You'd rather a French team beat an English team.
100%.
Yeah. Don't get it.
100%.
Do you know what? It just shows you how shallow you both are.
No, not shallow, being honest.
You are.
Yeah. Just being honest.
Because I want Chelsea in it against a foreign team because I want an English team to do well.
Why? Well, I don't get that argument. I don't get it. I never will get it. The hate has got to go deep in the heart.
No, that's why. That's the thing. I don't hate. That's the difference.
I do.
Apart from that, how energy sapping is that? How much are in people's heads?
No,
everyone's different, though, Perry. I get what you're saying, but there's people that are like me and Cundy that don't want another English team to do well.
Yeah, but again,
different opinions, isn't it?
Yeah, but
I didn't want Villa to win the Europa League because I put them in the Champions League. I didn't want that. I know they got them in the league anyway.
Shallow.
No, but it's nothing against Gab. I just don't want Arsenal. Also, the only side in London to win the Champions League is Chelsea, and that's
that's another thing. By the way, I heard you say that you're not a big club if you haven't won the Champions League or
you can't be.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win. Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Now, talkSPORT and Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier, are sending you and a mate to see England's opening game against Croatia on June the 17th. Now, we're talking return flights, accommodation, spending money, tickets, the official Adidas match ball, the Trionda, all covered in this. Here's how to enter. For your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate. The number to call is 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 o'clock today, and that's when you'll need to answer your phone. If it rings, 18 plus, UK residents only. A talkSPORT promotion. Full terms and conditions at talksportwin.com. It would seem Anthony Gordon has turned out to be a winner in a big way. Anthony Gordon has left Newcastle and signed a 5-year deal at Barcelona in a £70 million deal altogether. And Anthony Gordon spoke Spanish at his unveiling when the Barcelona hierarchy introduced him to the media out there.
Estoy listo para este desafío. Soy muy consciente de la historia de este club y de los increíbles jugadores que han llevado esta camiseta. Estoy muy emocionado, estoy muy orgulloso de estar aquí. Es un sueño hecho realidad. Forma parte del mejor equipo del mundo, Barça.
What title are you excited most about winning? And also, out of curiosity, why do you speak Spanish?
I wanted to speak Spanish because as a kid, I believed I would play for Barça, believe it or not. I have a physio in Newcastle and we spoke every day, and I told him one day I'll play for Barça, so I want to learn Spanish. So that's why. Yeah, I only won one trophy with Newcastle, so I'm extremely excited. I have a burning fire in my belly to win here, to win at the biggest club in the world is the best possible outcome. If I had to pick one trophy, it would be Champions League, of course, número 6. Pero quiero ganar todo.
Now, how refreshing is that?
Yeah, I don't understand what the question was about. I think if a foreign player came over here and started speaking English, no one would say, why did you decide to speak English? Fair play to him. That he has the ability.
Yeah, it's quite unusual.
First of all, it's not Spanish, it's Catalonian that they speak. But notwithstanding that, he spoke Spanish to them and they understood it. He talked about playing for an incredible team and playing for a shirt that's had so many incredible players playing for it. But well done to him. Fair play to him. And for Newcastle, what does it mean? Depends who they replace him with. They got 70 million quid for him. Judged by Newcastle by selling a player, because it's no different than Liverpool selling Diaz. They best clubs. Ronaldo was sold. Every player gets sold to some extent from football clubs. For Newcastle, it's what they do with the money. If they upgrade him, because I think he's all right. I'm amazed that Barcelona think of him that highly. But fair play to him. He keeps on rising to the level. I think Newcastle fans were talking about the fact he reserved his best performances for European games rather than the consistency of in the league. But Newcastle got 70 million quid. How they deploy it, how much ambition the Saudis seem to have, seems to be a question. How much longer they're going to stay as owners might be another question. But he goes on to play. I mean, we've seen this before. Once upon a time, Laurie Cunningham signed for Real Madrid, and everyone went, "How's Laurie Cunningham gone from West Bromwich Albion to Real Madrid?" You know, when he played alongside Cyril Regis and Brendan Batson, what they were called the 3 degrees, weren't they, at the time?
Yeah.
And here you have another player going from English football. It seems to be a strange fit, but they obviously fancy him. They've paid 70 million quid for him, and how Newcastle deploy that money is the key question now.
And it's a marvellous move for him. Not that Newcastle United isn't a great club, of course it is. But also, the way he dealt with that there, I think it is so refreshing to see, is it not?
Well, it just shows you that
well, you spent a lot of time out in Spain. I've never heard a word uttered by you.
There's much more. Well, I have no reason to sit in the studio speaking bleeding Spanish to you, have I?
Can you speak Spanish?
English. Not as well as that, no. I could when I was younger, but not as well as that.
Not as well as Anthony.
I can understand what he's saying because I've just said some of it. But for him to go into it, I mean, you saw Beckham years ago. You've seen other people go in there and do the very bare minimum of
Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale. But fair play to him. But he told you the reasons why.
Yeah.
He told you what he was driven by. The fact that once upon a time, in his young self, he wanted to play for Barcelona. He's learnt Spanish. Maybe he holidayed in Spain for years.
Right.
I don't know what his background is. But the fact is he's gone and done it. So the people should be applauding it rather than asking him why he's speaking Spanish.
I think it's thoroughly good that it is acknowledged by the Spanish media.
But just in the same way, but we wouldn't be acknowledging if a Spaniard came over and started speaking in English. We wouldn't say, "Why are you speaking in English?"
Yeah.
We'd be saying, "Well, so you should. You're in English league now." So actually, it's a terrible indictment of Englishness, English players. That it's a revelation.
Englishness.
I.e. the English attitude that the only language that's important is English.
Yeah.
And
It's just I asked you if you could speak Spanish. Were you fluent? And you said to me, quotes, not far off.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I never said that.
You've been trying to persuade me you speak
Hopefully
Spanish.
my young son will be, but no, absolutely not. Fair play to him. Well done.
Okay, well done, Anthony Gordon. Now, of Barcelona, of course. Much more on that in a variety of different languages tomorrow from 10.